Hey, everyone in. Let's go. Huddle up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Huddle up.
You all know what you have to do. Remember, no one, and I mean no one, comes into our house and pushes us around. This is your game now, gentlemen.
Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins.
This could be a sentence that a month ago would sound incomprehensible. From 31 yards, McPherson and Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl.
He called it again, I'm sure. He walked up and he goes, "Can you believe, Coach? We're going to the Super Bowl." And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. The final Huddle Up podcast of 2022. We wrap up the year. We say goodbye to the year that was. We look ahead towards the games in the year that will be. Welcome in after a holiday weekend, everything back to normal. Ernest EJ Christian will be joining us, allegedly. But we start off the show with just the three of us. I'll get to my panel here in just a second. Make sure you are following along with us on social media at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Get our merchandise over at TeePublic. Hit the link tree that will take you to all of the podcast platforms where you can find us. Make sure to give us a rating and review on anywhere that is possible. Tell your friends. Tell your family, tell anyone that you think might enjoy the show, and encourage them to do the same. Let's go to the student of the game, Kyle Nash. How you doing this week, my friend?
Jim, obviously I'm always happy to come aboard this show, but things are not normal. I need a shout to the retirement of one, J.J. Watt. And he goes on to a better place as he retires. Listen, he has a beautiful wife, a very handsome, beautiful child, and I wish him the best. And he moves on to a better place, more specifically Canton, where hopefully I will be in place to finally interview J.J. Watt. And I will learn what J.J. means and call him in three names, because he will be worthy at that time of the ascension to football heaven, as Marshall Falk calls it. So I appreciate you saying things back to normal as far as our schedule, but my psyche at current is far from it.
Yeah, I didn't see the retirement tweet, which was very subtle, by the way. Like,
it was damn subtle.
Like that very easily, I think, probably got lost by a lot of people. But I was like, when you texted us this morning and we're like, I need some help today, guy, and I'm like, oh my God, like what happened? And then once I came to the realization, I was like, no, I mean, a very serious thing as a huge Watt fan yourself, but I was able to breathe a little bit. Nothing.
I might have pulled the emergency cord a little bit too much,
quote unquote, too serious. I don't want to downplay the retirement, because when some of my favorite players have and inevitably will retire, I've felt the same way. So it is not.
Jerry Rice was tough, but I was ready for that. We it was a long time coming, and we knew it was coming. But to me, JJ was so sudden. I felt like he still had life in his body.
Yeah, for sure. And Matt, how we doing this week, my friend?
Doing well. I'm looking forward to some exciting bowl games here coming up this weekend. The ones so far have been a little less than exciting, I should say. So hopefully we've got a Good slate here coming up. We're getting closer to playoff season. If you are still in your fantasy football playoffs, congratulations. Good for you. It's probably championship week soon. I was eliminated probably 3 weeks ago, probably 8 weeks ago, if we're being honest, from most of my fantasy leagues. But if you're still in it, best of luck to you moving forward. And Jim, who was number 21 at Notre Dame when you purchased the jersey?
I think they just did this because this was last year's jersey, so I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think they just did it because it was
Just
the
for
year,
the year. Okay.
that they released it. Yeah, the funny bit on the fantasy leagues is I know you and I are in a similar situation in our one league together, but we both defeated our mortal enemy twice, I believe.
Yep.
And my wife eliminated said individual from a chance at the playoffs. So none of us made the postseason in that specific league, but we did the things we had to do to save the league, honestly.
Yes.
I am in
I think
one
I won
champion,
4 games total, and 2 of them were against him, and I will take that every day.
and that's all that matters. And
Listen.
I am in one championship this weekend, and I just want my title back.
I get all that, but listen, keep in mind there, Matt, it's still fewer than 10 games, so your season isn't dead yet. Certainly, according to EJ Christian. Oh, hey, you fixed the security van. Welcome in there, Julius. How you doing?
What's up, man? What's up?
Well, welcome in, Ernest EJ Christian. How are you? Were you late to the party?
Well, how's you got
icing your ass from your kid? From your kid whipping it on your own podcast today?
Yeah, that you hear that shit?
I did. I heard.
I'm sure you're impressed.
Cowboys fan, so at least there's one.
He's just bullshitting. He's just bullshitting. He knows better. He knows better. I will just
hope he knows better.
No, but I'm good, man. How was your guys' Christmas?
It was good. It was good. It was a good weekend. How about you?
It was very good, very active, very cold here for Florida. Anyway, we got to down to the low 40s here,
bro. When I turn on my car and the ish tells me icy road warning,
yeah,
that blew my mind.
Yeah, no, I know. PA, I get it. I get it.
I've never seen 28. Oh shoot! You cut it off, Jim. I had a whole thing ready to go.
That's okay.
But you got lower than we did, Kyle. I saw that Orlando was like in the low 30s and like high 20s.
Yeah, no, it got down to 28, but I mean, I'm not one to talk weather. I was just more impressed that my car was like icy road. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute here.
I think we were at 3 degrees on the 23rd.
Oh, boo!
I saw that.
Yeah, it was.
I saw that up there was pretty bad.
I think we had wind chills over the weekend of like -18. So it was it was
the way
cold.
we gripe, gentlemen. You know, like Matt, where you're at, and you and Jim are at is considered the northeast, of course, and EJ and I are into the southeast. But you know who really has problems? The Southwest. Am I right? 90% of the flights canceled due to that weather, all on that airline.
What a fucking mess, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, that
Thing sucks.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Anyone who is dealing with that this week. I see Devin checked in with us. How's it going, Devin? Hope you're doing well. Big Mike with us. He's apparently down with some sort of stomach virus, so you can keep that in the comments.
Wait, is he down with the sickness?
Yeah.
See, I like it as the guy who was in a band of. Oh, by the way, Mikey Burns still touting his Go Coastal. I got bad news for you, son. They're in for a spiral downward. You better look out. Grayson McCall in the transfer portal. Jamie Chadwell no longer the coach. Going to be a rough time. Look for Troy to reascend.
They're at least currently winning their bowl game. Currently.
There you go. Has he made his do they know where he's going, or he's just in the portal?
Grayson McCall, to my knowledge, has not yet been offered. And yes, as I am wearing black for mourning JJ Watt's retirement, of course, EJ with his insensitivity and lateness did not honor that because he wasn't here. Like I know you were busy serving the country trying to catch a perp in the security van. I'll let it slide. But I am wearing black also to give Mikey Byrne the prayers for his Chanticleers.
He confirmed there that Grayson is not confirmed where he's going, but could be a bumpy ride next year. But speaking of bumpy rides, we look back, at least in some fashions, at the weekend.
What row?
As we do each and every week here, we look at our 3 observations from the weekend that was. There's a good, there's a bad, there's an ugly. This week, Kyle, why don't we start with you? What was good from this past weekend?
I mean, I'm going to quickly go super homer, and want to know what was good? My children having an excellent Christmas, and my daughter making me breakfast. What's up? Anyway,
Really?
My 8-year-old made me bacon, dude. It was toy. Listen, it's the little things. But in the name of keeping in the giving and cheery spirit, listen, Matt's frisky Panthers keeping the NFC South, air quotes, relevant at least, and undecided by beating Jim's frisky Lions. No offense, Jim.
Oof, no, that was bad.
Bad luck, man.
Real bad.
No, I honestly would have gone a different direction, but then I remembered I'm on a panel with 2 Cowboys fans, so I didn't want to steal it.
I don't have that as my good. Spoiler alert.
Actually, I'll say this instead, since you want to call that bad, which I don't blame you for doing. The Chargers, sure, it was just the Colts, but them winning and securing a playoff spot. Listen, I called this group to win the AFC West, and then they got all injured to hell and back and are now healthier than they've been all year, which we discussed on last week's edition of Huddle Up. Bing. And so, yeah, them doing.
I'll allow it.
Them, I didn't give the full bing because I wasn't sure. But them securing a playoff spot, honestly, Justin Herbert securing playoffs and shutting haters the F up for 30 seconds, I think that counts as a good, if nothing else.
Yeah, there you go. I'll allow it. EJ, what was a good from this past weekend?
That was my good too, the Chargers, and I think the feedback a little on that too, especially.
My notes again.
I know it's normal. Look, 12 years later, you know better now. Come on,
no, but writing them down now.
No, but seriously, but what's fast about the Chargers now too? Also, they catch a playoff berth. Like, wasn't it like 2-3 weeks ago we were wondering this team's making the playoffs, and all of a sudden they've kind of quietly been on a roll. All of a sudden, because the playoff berth like 3 weeks before the season's over.
Were people wondering that, or were you wondering?
Correct.
Well, I mean, kind of things align. Teams that were, Jets, Dolphins, teams that were kind of like in that mix of falling apart now, and the Chargers getting helped at the right time when the big games need to win, and they're kind of falling in the right place now. And all of a sudden,
I kind of probably quietly questioned it as well. I mean, they weren't. I mean, even early on last night, like I tweeted, they didn't look like a team in the first quarter and a half, maybe even full half of that game, of a team that was a win and in situation against the Colts. But they kind of made some adjustments and played a much better second half, and they locked down the game like they needed to. So, yes, they've been beat up all year. There's questions, at least from one of us on the panel, about their head coach. So now,
look, I praised him today on the podcast. I praised him today.
I heard that. I almost fell out of my chair.
I'm not going to let EJ go by himself on that one either. I too have questioned the coach at times.
And that's fair. I think being a younger coach, he probably leans into analytics too much, as a lot of younger coaches do. Which is as a problem not just in football either. But yeah, now they're in. And now they get to, spend the next 2 weeks getting ready and prepared for the playoffs and see what they can do from there.
Here's a good question. Just on the topic of Chargers real quick, though. Because there once upon a time when we started this season of the podcast, we would have talked about top teams in the AFC, and they were a team that we were discussing that can get as far as the AFC title game. Are we ready to go back there?
When they brought them up, too. Like, I was really big on the Chargers. Yeah.
And now that we're at a point now where they're going to the playoffs. We know that. Are we back to
not that
point again? Okay,
we're
not. I'm not.
In Matt's defense, because while the Chiefs' schedule is easily stronger than the Eagles throughout the entire season, it really is. But listen, I will give you this much credit: the AFC West turned out being a lot weaker than any of us thought, and that is definitely true, right? Nobody saw Rusty failing this much. Hackett's fired officially. Nobody saw the Raiders being this bad. Josh McDaniels is one S away from being a good coach, but he's an awful coach instead because of McDaniel. Devin, I'm propping your coach. Come on, I thought you'd think that was funny, but no, but they do have a relatively easy road compared to a lot of teams who are in the playoffs. Anybody in the AFC North, for example, that's definitely a fair thing to point out. And while it's not as easy a road as as the Eagles have, it's I love you, man. This is such a great bit. But yeah, I think an easier schedule
is a disgusting act.
What performance? Being accurate? No. Listen. All the jokes aside, I have to, in fairness, account for the fact that the Broncos and Raiders have both fallen well below.
The Denver Broncos.
Nicely done, Big Jim. Bing! There you go.
Yeah. Now we'll see what they do. Yeah, I'm not ready to, loft any high expectations. We've seen over the course of history in all sports, when a talented team, regardless of how talented they are, gets to a postseason for the first time, they can find out is a much different world.
Yeah. By the way, if you might be kind enough to put up Mikey Burns' comment on Coach Brandon there, that's for you, EJ.
As I just said, I actually gave him praise on my podcast today.
Say, which podcast is that, EJ Christian?
On the Unfiltered Daily Sports podcast. Now I've been doing it again recently. So
there it is.
Yes.
And if you want to hear EJ get dunked on by a child, I highly recommend the list.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Matt, what was your good from the past weekend?
I know we typically stick to football on this, but Christmas Day for me, I will also go homer, such as Kyle did earlier, and give a shout out and a good to my Philadelphia 76ers, who, despite the season being over for them when they started 0-3, have somehow found a way to battle back. They won their 8th straight game on Christmas Day, defeating the Knicks. So good on them.
Matt, why are you even still watching them?
I don't know.
But did they make you bacon for breakfast? That's my question.
They did not.
Then you lose.
For my good, I'm gonna venture away from football as well, and I see Mike has this one with me. Alex Ovechkin scored career goals 801 and 802 over the weekend to now move into second place all time for the all-time goals lead. So he is now just chasing Wayne Gretzky.
You know how I respect you, Jim, and Ovechkin? Because when you said that, I didn't go, "Oh my God, who
that is true.
Hell cares?"
That is true, and I appreciate that.
You just thought it silently.
You're not.
Mike also has football-wise, the Broncos finally firing Nathaniel Hackett, which I'm sure will fit in a bad or an ugly, not the firing part, but just the team in general. Will probably fit into a bad or an ugly somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody notice the irony that it's Byrne who mentions the firing?
Oh boy,
ridiculous.
Wearing black too on top of that.
Devin's a Dolphins fan.
You look sexy with black. Though, okay.
I understand, Devin. I got you. No good there as a Dolphins fan. Yeah. We'll leave it at that. EJ, what was your bad from the past weekend?
Yeah, you just said it. The Broncos, everything, and not just the firing, not just Russell Wilson falling apart again in this game, not just the fighting on the signs with Brett Rippon and his teammates, and then just everything in general is just ugly. It
is a dumpster
it's bad.
on fire rolling down a hill.
Yeah, look, I didn't have them going to the playoffs. I thought they'd be a 10-win team, but missing the playoffs because I thought the AFC would be much better than it is now across the board. But to see this shit happen, I mean, wow. And I'm just really curious how, like, is this a attractive job next year? Like for one, Sean Payton, for example, because there's rumors now about he may look into the Colts, he may look into the Broncos and other teams that of course may part with their coaches. So
he's not going to coach for the Saints anymore.
Stop. No, right. Well, that's not happening. But
no,
the rumors are
football talk has it out there, EJ Christian.
Wait, who Florio? More on Florio?
Oh. You said it.
So
why do you bring in that guy's name?
How much weight do we put to the thought that they hired Hackett thinking they were getting Aaron Rodgers, and then that just didn't happen?
I put a lot of weight on that, actually.
There's
probably definitely some play there.
Because I think everybody all assumed that when he got hired.
So then it was just a no-win situation for Hackett after Rodgers stayed put. I mean, granted, it's still Russell Wilson, but he does not look like the Russell Wilson that we have known to carry teams much farther than they should be.
What's clear, he's been hurt all year long. It's clear. Now, I'm still willing to give another year, though, honestly. He's too good a quarterback. He's had enough goodwill in his career.
I knew Jim was
correct. But
who had Jim bringing up the contract on the bingo card? I sure did.
No, of course. And you're not wrong about that, Jim. But I'm saying, though, but he has enough good.
But it's true, though.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just knew you were going to say
he has enough goodwill over the course of the last 10 years to be allowed to turn it around next year. Now, if he says shit again next year, obviously we got an issue.
Okay, I understand what he was in Seattle. Absolutely correct, and I won't deny what he was in Seattle. But if the Broncos didn't sign him to a multi-year deal before he ever played a snap, you don't have to have that commitment or that goodwill if he has a terrible year. You can let him go somewhere else. Now you have to give him another year with a different head coach. Yeah, because you've invested too much.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I maybe, but I'll be honest with you. Maybe they may still even if his contract wasn't so big. I think they probably still would try to go around.
That's possible. That's possible, EJ. But what I think Jim's point is, and though I predict that he would be the one to bring it up, I'm not saying he's wrong. And the reason why he's not wrong is the price tag is too damn high. The rent is too damn high. Who on earth?
I mean, here's the deal. Will they silently, inquire with teams if they're interested? I bet they will.
And the other teams will say no.
Exactly.
and look, me and Kyle are big Russell Wilson homers on the show, but he's got a whole responsibility here too of this ship sinking this year. He's got to.
And here's the thing though, EJ, like as I'm analyzing Russell Carrington Wilson's season, old Kyle was right about a few things as they pop up. Granted, of course, Rusty's hurt, but some of the flaws that old Kyle would point out in the Rusty is overrated conversation have come back to roost here. And
you mean pre-2016, Kyle?
Correct.
Right.
That's why I said old. It's over 6 years ago.
That's a lot old. That's a lot of time.
So but that being said, I'm not suddenly going back to Russell Wilson's overrated because he's not. I'm those who want to call him broken, I think, are a touch premature. 1 year's an awfully quick time to indict a guy, especially when we live in a world where quarterbacks have bounced back in a way that you can't predict. Sam Darnold's winning football games. I mean, what the F? But yeah.
I do think there are people in the media that are being a little heavy-handed because they don't like the guy personally, so they use that as the elixir to make base argument. Well, I don't like him, so I'm gonna go heavy on him. Richard Sherman, for once, is one guy never liked him, so obviously he's gonna use that. Oh, gotcha moment. Same with some of the guys on ESPN. I get it. He's had a bad year, but I want to see if he can turn around next year. If you see 2 years of this shit, now we got
because what it does point out is stuff in the glue of the team that's problematic. That if Rusty continues to struggle next year, there might be some legs to the concept that the teammates aren't getting along with him, and you can't have that.
Right. He's unauthentic.
Well,
that's not the main gripe of everybody else. He's unauthentic.
Listen, you can be authentic and still win games. Just ask Jim about Quayron for 30 seconds. But
hey, I've never denied his talent on the field.
Correct. That's well done, Jim.
Football.
Well, this year maybe, but anyway, not this week. Forthcoming. But Matt, what was your bad from the weekend?
I'm going to stray from football again and go with EJ's Mets and the Carlos Correa situation, because that has gotten bad and worse in the same weekend. And here's a guy who is now going to be on his second 13-year, $350 million contract that might not happen just because of some physicals. It behooves teams to do their research before they offer the deals. In this case, the Mets just spending all freely without doing their due diligence. If they've learned nothing else from the Bobby Bonilla contract, it's that you have to start looking at the future.
You dumbass.
I'm glad you mentioned it, Matt, because I was going to question you.
He's not signed officially yet. He's not met yet officially. So,
right, which makes this whole situation even worse.
Which bars the question now? Do you like? I mean, they're saying the injuries from 8 years ago, allegedly
from the minor leagues. Yeah.
Right. So, and
Allegedly.
I mean, I don't know. Like, if I'm the Mets, I stay away. Restructure or stay away.
Okay, so we're over 30 seconds on baseball talk, so I am required to say,
Hey,
oh
it's
my
winter
God,
meetings,
who
buddy.
the hell cares? The show is called Huddle Up. Shut up, Julius.
We got basketball on the spot.
I mean,
on
you
the
can
feed
kind
now.
of huddle
And
up.
hockey.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? Hold a timeout, bitch.
Kyle hates baseball so much. I swear to God.
Kyle, what was your bad besides Matt and EJ talking about baseball for the last 48 seconds?
God, we're on ugly now, are we not?
Not bad.
No, you're at bad.
I thought I had a. Did I not do a bad yet?
No, I started
No,
bad
EJ
first.
started with the bad.
Oh yeah, my bad is apparently my memory. No,
My bad.
Huh?
yeah, I see what you did there. No, that was
Yeah.
your bad. Yeah, I see what you did there. Exactly. No, and listen, my bad this week is the poor EJ's poor Red Tails having to go into the buzzsaw that was the 49ers, man. That it's a bad mixed in a good. Nobody deserved that fate, let alone the Red Tails. And now they're like, if you picture the zombie movie, there's like a bunch of NFC teams as the zombies, like, and they're all banging on the door to get into the playoffs. And like the Red Tails are that door that's missing several planks. Them all out just, yeah, thank you, Jim. That are missing several planks and just barely keeping them all out. You know, that's what I think the Red Tails are right now. I mean, your Giants, I swear, if they had won, the Vikings.
Who's Giants?
My Giants.
I said the Giants. I thought that's what
You
I
said
meant.
your Giants.
I got
There's a
mixed up.
Giants fan on this panel.
I saw Jim wearing blue and it threw me off. Oh, you
Okay.
got something at the yard sale. Who bought that? It wasn't you.
That's
tell you
adorable. It's not on your
And
card.
you just like threw it back to the floor where you had
Yeah.
picked
Well,
it up.
it goes in the trash can that's likely sitting next to his
He gave it back to his
Well,
wife, who's apparently vacating her Saints fanhood. I don't blame her for that.
Oh
either.
no, she still loves them. She was giving me shit. I was calling them out when it down to nothing, and then when they won, she started trash talking me after.
Do you have video of that? Because
No, we were both at work.
Your
actually at the
whole
time.
family just
that's
dunked on you
content.
this weekend.
Yeah,
that was a
dude.
lot of that. You
Wait to hear the annual Christian family end of year episode. We're finishing up this week. Oh my God.
Is that worthy of a bing? I'm gonna bing that. Bing.
Yeah, it's coming up.
We'll give it
Starting
to him.
tomorrow. Then tomorrow Thursday.
No, listen, but for my money, yeah, that definitely is worthy of the bad. But I spin it to a good because it makes a damn compelling case for watching the NFL this weekend.
Well, the good news is that if you're a Giant fan like myself, of course. Yes,
Who?
I am me. Yeah. No, is that it was everything was a wash. They lost to Minnesota, but every other team.
Yeah, Washington lost.
Behind 'em.
Detroit
You know what
lost.
the bad is? The Giants are your bad because I was banging that goddamn drum and they were going to win that game and they blew
You
it.
were so close, buddy.
The damn Vikings by 3.
You were so close, Kyle. You were so close. Look, all needs one more win. That's it, and we're in.
Oh, do I have to do a standing jumping jack now that you did the horn? School. So lame.
Who is it? Matt that hates that skull thing. It was Matt, right?
I hate that.
Oh, you
I
hate it too? Okay.
I hate the
Everybody
horn.
hates it.
But I think Matt made a big
He
deal
did.
about it
I think 1 week
months
he
ago.
did.
Yeah, on the show.
Oh,
Kyle has as well.
They do it after everything.
It's
That's the
like
problem.
it's like the USC, the Trojan March
Yes.
or whatever. The
So-
fucking coach farts on the sideline and that goddamn song drives me insane.
It's not the sound. That's what they
Fuck
do
you,
every
Pete Carroll.
fucking play.
Sorry, that was a flashback. My bad.
listen, buddy. Until you've been to a Vikings game to witness that, stop bitching.
No, I
But
will
no,
never. I can assure you that won't happen.
yeah, I will.
On my
Never,
end.
that's okay. I will.
Nope.
That is
I will not do that. I will.
that
make
is
sure
the
to
one
not.
downside actually to going to Minneapolis. It's really not that bad. I guess you goofballs will see a Twins game with your fucking baseball, but
Nope, wouldn't do that either.
Nope.
I mean, I probably would. Like if I'm in a major league city and there's a game that day, I will go. I will try and try to
absolutely.
get there. There's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy going to baseball parks. So,
So,
I
if
me too.
I tied you up, blindfolded you, put you in a bag, dropped you off in front of the stadium in Minneapolis, drove off where you didn't know it was me, you looked over and like, well, damn, there's a baseball game. Fuck it, I got some money. Let me check it
yeah,
out.
I'm going in. Absolutely. What did I tell you before?
He's
before we
gotta
went on
get
air?
a hot dog and a soft pretzel.
Give me a hot dog, give me a beer, give me a soft pretzel. I'm watching baseball.
By the way, Juicy Lucy for the win, gentlemen. Throwing it out there.
Oh, absolutely. I've never had one, but I know what that is, and it's something I got to make happen at some point in my life.
Try running the gauntlet, trying it at several different places. That is a fun time, buddy.
Hey, Matt, y'all beat the Wizards tonight or what? Y'all down 13 third quarter, man.
They've won 8 in a row. They're going to lose at some point.
No, I know.
Season's over, man.
No, I actually praised. I actually praised James Harden on my podcast on Monday.
Whatever.
James Harden Renaissance.
All right,
take it easy there, good Christ.
But remember, as a number two option now. Number two option, not number one.
Text me after the show. I have to call EJ's orthopedist. This motherfucker still knee jerking, okay? Good Christ.
Oh, good for you.
All right, my bad from the weekend somebody touched on it earlier in reference to Matt's frisky Panthers, but my should have been possibly getting into that. Well, they would have been in the one of the wild card spots with a win. Would have been the Detroit Lions. But they lioned this weekend. You know, we over the course of this show, we've talked about Oregon being Oregon and all of that. The Lions did what the Lions do, and they absolutely didn't show up to Carolina and got their asses kicked. And so that makes their road to the playoffs that much more difficult with only 2 weeks to go. So that definitely no fun. Devin says his bad and ugly is the Dolphins shitting the bed when they could have won the game. More on the Dolphins probably
that's coming up.
when we get to the ugly, I am sure. Mike's bad, Zach Wilson's Jet career being over. Well, if you're a Jets fan, that's probably good, but
I'm not a Jets fan. I still think it's great his career is over.
I get the spirit of the thing. I get it, but that's probably more good than bad when we're talking about Zach Wilson's Jets career being over. All right, let's go to the ugly. Matt, we'll start with you. What was your ugly from this past weekend?
I guess since it's the weekend, I can't talk about Mike's Coastal Carolina team now just giving up 14 unanswered to the trailing ECU. Could go after EJ's hero, Tom Brady, who had another shit performance, but instead I will take a page from Devin and go after the whole handling of the Tua situation by the Miami Dolphins, because that is beyond ugly at this point. I mean, to miss the injury when it was pretty clear that his head forcefully whacked against the ground, and for someone who's already dealt with this season, I think we should, fingers crossed, we should see this being the end of Tua's season, because I think it's a very huge risk to put him back on that field anymore in 2022 or for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not good. That's one I had like teetering between bad and ugly. I wasn't exactly sure which one to put it in. And I mean, it's you evaluate the first time they lied about his injury, put him back out there. He played then 4 days after the first concussion, got concussed again, and now not only did his head clearly bounce off the field, but you have the team and coach and staff and anybody who was questioned on it saying, yeah, they didn't see anything that would have, like, what are you watching? What are you watching?
Whoa.
Yes, Peter.
Whoa.
It's like Vince Russo.
Are you questioning the integrity of the Miami Dolphins? Did you not hear Brian Flores speak to what a forthright and organization?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Dolphins are.
I like it.
There's a reason why we haven't heard anything since Brian Flores left. There's nothing there. There's no scandal. There's nothing real. I don't believe you guys. By the way, sarcasm, bitches.
You are fake news.
I was fake news. See, there's a difference between trying to be fake and just being bad at your job, right, Tool? Anyways,
wow.
Shots fired. Kyle chose violence.
Man.
Wow. Last show 2022.
Kyle, what was your ugly from the past weekend?
I did not see the entirety of the Tua situation, but what I had heard, it sounded bad, and I appreciate Matt for enunciating it if it was as bad as it was. So on that, I shan't front. The reason why I'm stalling is I was going to talk about, Jim's Quayron there, in that win and kind of mocking the Dolphins, but that just seems heartless now. But so what I will do is gracefully transition. And I will graciously move over to the Titans losing to the Texans. I get that it doesn't matter, but all you really did was give a team confidence now as they play the Jacksonville Jaguars here coming up and potentially ruin the opportunity for me to cover a playoff game and do – wait, what? Oh, sorry, never mind. It doesn't matter anyway. That's the part that's ugly. None of it matters until week 18. So here I am teetering, hoping I could cover a postseason playoff game, and all I'm doing is waiting.
It's going to happen. So it's going to happen. So don't worry about it.
EJ.
Can somebody gag him?
Why? It's going to happen.
Jinx me, you dumb son of a whatever.
Tannehill's out for the year.
No. Stop it. Stop it right there. You had 2 locks last week telling us, lock it up. And they're both wrong.
Wait, you locked the Vikings last week.
Just stand there.
Oh, not the Vikings, the Giants last week. You stop.
See, and I knew you were going to do that.
Don't start your shit.
Your alleged Giants failed me. You were wrong.
That's a you problem. No one told you to do that.
You were wrong twice.
I had Houston winning last week. For the record, I had Houston winning last week. For the record,
over the sound of both your locks.
I had Houston win last week. In case you're wondering,
because your first lock was so obvious and you still got it wrong. Sorry,
so, you're so dramatic.
Yes, it's called performance, bitch. Step your game.
So
we don't
dramatic.
all live our lives in a security van.
I mean,
put on glasses. All right.
I mean, EJ, you're dramatic as well. Kyle's is good.
Do it.
I'm not dramatic.
Put your glasses back on, and EJ, if you delivered it correctly, it would have been funny. I give you props.
That's true.
EJ, what was your ugly?
Well, Matt had my ugly, but it was Tua in the situation, and we all covered that already. So, but I'm gonna go and discuss my ugly is the NFC playoff picture. Now, ugly chaos. I like it. The fact that
okay,
a mess. It's still a mess, and obviously not including the Philly and San Fran and Minnesota doing their job, obviously, but like the bottom of it, like obviously the NFC South situation.
So EJ,
yes,
EJ, if I put some drama on it for you, it's ugly, and I like it.
I love it. That's what I'm saying. We call that beautiful chaos.
Okay.
I mean, is the AFC any less?
The AFC is pretty much set right now.
No, it's not at all.
Well, no,
not at all.
No, what I'm saying is that 6 teams are already clinched.
Yeah,
okay.
Obviously the one seed's still in the air. We got Buffalo, Cincinnati. It works out, but like in terms of like the mess, like there's more a mess in the NFC side than the AFC side.
There's a chance all the division winners
will have 6 teams vying for the last spot in the AFC.
But there's 6 teams for one spot. But he's saying that there's 6 teams locked ahead of them. And in his defense, again, this being a less bad point than a lot of the others he makes, the division winners in the AFC will potentially all have winning records. We can't say that in the damn NFC.
No.
But the AFC South isn't locked either, is it?
No.
It's not locked. That's true. But there's still a chance that the winner of the AFC South will have a winning record. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but
I mean, Tampa could have a winning record.
Okay.
It's not locked. No, the teams that are locked in are the top 4 and then the 5 and the 6. The 4 is still in flux. You're right, man.
The AFC.
I mean, I'm not denying that there's ugly chaos in the NFC, but I mean, 6 teams vying for one spot in the AFC and 5 teams vying for 2. If we're really looking at it properly, because honestly, the Saints Panthers, they're only vying for their division win.
Correct.
So like the other 5 teams are vying for 2 wildcard spots. So like, I mean, I would argue that there's just chaos on both sides, which makes at least some compelling football, especially given the Tua Dolphins situation over the next 2 weeks. Because if Tua's playing, like I don't think there's a whole lot of drama in the AFC with the Dolphins playing They're playing New England and the Jets. So there's division chaos there. But if Tua is playing, you're probably going, okay, they're going to probably get it right at some point, right?
I'm about to say, like, if Miami's playing other teams in the AFC East and you're calling that undramatic, Jim, I can't help you. I guess
Pats and Jets close it out.
But the assumption there is if Tua's playing, that like they're probably going to win one of those, which is going to probably give them the edge. The fact that Tua isn't playing opens it up not just for New England or the Jets, but kind of everybody that's still
for all the noise this panel is made for divisional games being okay, EJ, I'll say it, frisky. You
didn't have to do that.
But he's right this time. And I have to be fair. If I'm going to dunk on this kid so hard that he's bald now, I have to tell him when he's right. It's only fair.
Well, I can wear a hat now.
Wait, when did we start being fair on this show? That's what I wanted to know.
That's true.
But yeah, definitely going to be a fun couple of weeks. We'll get to our predictions in the NFL here coming in a little bit. Not going to expand on it too much because we did that a little bit earlier with EJ's bad, I believe it was.
Denver
is the Broncos. Yeah. Just the whole season.
The Denver Broncos.
Everything leading up to it.
You just want to play that.
Well, no, because I do my homework and I prepare ahead of time, EJ, unlike probably you.
I got a notebook, buddy.
But,
sorry.
Yeah, good for you. And your kid comes in and dunks on you, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, I gotta tell you, my kids are smart.
I know. He said he's a Cowboys fan, so he is smart.
Another quarter century of fucking.
He takes after his dad.
Exactly, like father, like son. Mike says his ugly, aside from the concussion, is the or aside from what is concussion protocol, the free fall of the Titans. Yeah, that pretty brutal as well. And EJ, apparently your Rangers, okay,
allegedly
are losing 3-0 to the Capitals right now. So,
so now Jim can claim ultimate superiority over EJ. Wow. Gentlemen, this is the part where I gracefully bow out. I have to go do my pre-record with Madman Mark.
What the fuck?
For the upcoming Student of the Game pod. I will be back as quickly as possible. But hey, listen, you know, that's a great question. I don't know why UCF keeps scheduling events on top of events, on top of doing so on a Wednesday night, but I have to adjust for it because the black and gold banneret's giving me money to cover it. So that was a great job, by the way, EJ, if you saw the video and the cueing of the bell. I'll be back soon as I can be. Don't screw it up too much. And by the way, thanks for picking a bowl game that's so obviously an FSU win that it's boring to say it any other way. I'll get to more on that later. Later.
There it is.
Be back with 2 time, buddy.
Copy.
All right. Student of the game, Kyle Nash will hopefully be back before we are done here tonight. But let's move to college football. We're getting now into the final bits of bowl season. The actual meat on the bone for what is bowl season, as we have stumbled drunkenly through through the bowl season so far. But let's go to this. We will get to the college football playoff games separately. Those were kind of a guaranteed to cover situation, so we will get to the those in just a few minutes. But my game, let's look at the Rose Bowl. Number 11 Penn State, they are 10-2. They play my Pac-12 champion Utah Utes. I only wish Kyle was here for me to say that, but I'm sure I'll get a text when he listens back to it. Who are 10-3 and a 2.5 point favorite. 52.5 is your over under. This one Monday, 5:00 Eastern time on ESPN. EJ, I'll go to you first.
All right. Give me Utah here to cover, and I will take a slight under.
All right, Matt.
I also like Utah just because I hate Penn State. So give me Utah minus the points. I will also take the under. Not very impressed with the offense of Penn State when they play formidable defenses.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Utah here. They were, like I said, I picked them in the preseason to win the Pac-12. They did. They obviously did not make the playoff. as I had had predicted. But I think they get the win here. More on that later. And I will take. I'm gonna take the over here. I mean, Penn State has an 8-year season quarterback, so he better put up some points in a bowl game. But yeah, Utah to win and to cover. Devin has Penn State. Mike has the Utes and the over. We go to Kyle's game. It is the Citrus Bowl. It is 8-5 Purdue. Don't know why we're picking this one, and I unfortunately don't get to question him on it. But 8-5 Purdue taking probably only because of this part of it. Number 17 and Brian Kelly's LSU Tigers, who are 9-4 and a 14.5 point favorite. 56 is your over under Monday, January the 2nd, 1:00 Eastern time on ABC. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the reasoning for this. And even though it is a large spread, and we know that Brian Kelly coached teams rarely cover large spreads, I will still give him the benefit of the doubt with this one because Purdue is just such a sad team. So give me LSU minus the 14.5. Give me the over.
All right, EJ.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Give me LSU to cover this one. And I'll take it over this.
Yeah, I mean, look, Purdue was like cutely competitive for the first quarter of the Big Ten title game, and then they got wiped off the field. They don't even have their head coach anymore because he is on to Louisville, I believe. I know he left. I forget exactly where he went to. But yeah, look, we know this story. Matt and I know this story all too well. Brian Kelly playing down to opponents, but I don't think that happens here. LSU will win and will cover. I will go under, though, because I don't think Purdue is going to be able to score enough to get this score over 56. Mike has Purdue. So he says Purdue is going to cover the 14.5. Bold claim and the under. All right, Matt, we go to yours. The Sugar Bowl, number 9, Kansas State. They are 10-3, taking on number 5, Alabama, who is 10-2, and a 6.5 point favorite. 56 is your over under in this one as well. This one Saturday at noon on ESPN. Matt, we'll start with you.
I will take Alabama to cover. I think this will be some vengeance for not getting into the playoffs, which they shouldn't have been. Sorry, Nick. You don't get to do it every year just because you're Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Win more games, loser. Schedule more difficult opponents, and maybe we'll see you back in the playoffs next year. Alabama minus 6.5 is an easy bet for me. I will take the under, though. I don't see Kansas State putting up a ton of points.
All right, EJ.
I actually like Kansas State here on the points. Bama tends to, when they don't play their usual, championship playoff games, they tend to play down the opponents. So I can see it happening. This actually is one of the better matchups here, I think, of all the bowl games here, not named the playoff game, the playoff 4. So give me Kansas State here on the points. Give me the, give me an over. I see a fireworks here.
Jordan, nothing would make me happier as well.
Oh, me too.
Bama losing by 28. Jordan, a Georgia fan, obviously. He is looking forward to this weekend.
Not happening.
Look, I would love nothing more to pick Kansas State to cover and to win. But Nick Saban with, a month to prepare in a game where he and that team are going to go in and try to make a point that they should have been in the playoff. And I still wonder if they should have been over Ohio State, but more on that later. Yeah, I think they are going to go out and they're going to try and make a statement to the committee that they should have been there. Obviously, it won't mean anything after the fact. But I think Bama is going to absolutely wipe the field with Kansas State. I think they easily cover the 6.5. I will go the over, though, because, Kansas State, they're in the Big 12. They know how to score points, and Alabama will do that as well. Mike has Kansas State outright and the over. So bold pick there by Mike, saying Kansas State going to not only cover, but get the victory. And EJ, oh, good God in heaven.
Joe Buck yourself.
The Cheez-It Bowl. 6-6 Oklahoma taking on number 13 Florida State, who is 9-3, and a 9.5-point favorite. 66 is your over/under Thursday night, 5:30 Eastern time on ESPN. All right, Homer, go ahead. We'll give it to you first.
Obviously, Florida State will win and cover this game. But give me a little bit of a slight under here. It's a lot of points.
Right.
It's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points. Matt.
I will take Oklahoma to at least stay within the 9.5, just to make EJ nervous watching the Cheez-It Bowl. Getting excited about Florida State finally winning a bowl game. I'll take the over. I can see both these teams putting up some points.
I do agree here with Jordan as well. Going back to the Sugar Bowl, though, it is the equivalent of the Super Bowl for Kansas State. So beating Alabama would mean everything to them. So definitely an intriguing matchup. But yeah, I think it's more about what it means, quote unquote, to Alabama to win this game big and try to make some sort of statement to a committee going towards next year, which I think next year is our last year with the 14 playoff. So yeah. Bama's going to try and make some noise in this one. To the Cheez-It Bowl, even at 66 points, I think I'm going to take the over because, again, well, man, that's tough, though, because Oklahoma stinks. Can they score enough points?
Cheez-It Bowl.
But it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, give me the over. And, yeah, just to make EJ sweat, give me Oklahoma to cover the 9.5. Mike has Oklahoma and the
What did you think we were going to say here, EJ?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I know. Fall for this shit all the time.
Pick any other game, for goodness sakes. I see why you did it, though. You got to fluff yourself up sometimes. It happens. All right, let's go to the college football playoff semifinals this weekend on Saturday. The first of the two games, it is the Fiesta Bowl. It is number 3 TCU, who is 12-1, taking on number 2 Michigan, 13-0, a 7.5-point favorite. 58.5 is your over/under on this one. Saturday, 4:00 Eastern time on ESPN. EJ, we'll start with you.
Ooh, that half point's kind of because I can see this game being competitive. No, fuck it. Give me Michigan. This is their time. It's their time. Give me Michigan to cover. Give me the under. This one though.
All right, Matt.
I really, really like TCU's story this year. I'm glad that they got the spot they deserved in the playoffs. As you know, if you've listened to the show, I will never pick Michigan to win until now, just to jinx them. Let's go blue.
Oh, wow.
What a dick.
Give me the under. No, give me the over.
Fuck yourself.
Give me the over and give me Michigan.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe what you just did. Yeah, no, look, TCU should have been the number 3 team. Yep. Absolutely. I'm glad the committee got the spot right. However, I think looking at this Michigan team versus last year's Michigan team, last year's Michigan team was all about beating Ohio State. They did that, and I don't think they were even prepared or to realize what a playoff game meant. I think this year's team is a lot different. I think they win. I think they cover. I'll go over on the points. Even though I think this is the best, without question, the best defense that TCU has seen. They are still going to score some points. Michigan is going to score points as well. Jordan has Michigan wins and covers. TCU doesn't handle the moment like Michigan didn't last year. Mike,
EJ, I totally forgot Porzingis was on the Wizards.
Yeah.
Mike says Dugan keeps the Toads in it. So I guess he has TCU covering and the over in this one. Then we go to the other semifinal game. It is the Peach Bowl. It is number 4 Ohio State. Should they be there? Should they not be there? That's what we're going to find out. They are 11-1. Taking on number 1 Georgia, who is 13-0 and a 6.5-point favorite. 62 is your over/under. This one Saturday at 8 Eastern time on ESPN. Matt, we'll start with you for this one.
Should they be there? Should they not be there? Is the first question. The answer is they should not. Ohio State just kind of got benefit of the doubt. So as much as I made fun of Saban earlier, he did have an argument over Ohio State because, boy, that was a brutal strength of schedule that they have. And we all know strength of schedule matters here on the Huddle Up podcast. So with them being so undeserving and with the spread only being 6.5, I'm taking Georgia easy. I would take Georgia minus 10.5, honestly.
I couldn't believe this is only 6.5.
I will take the under, though. 62 feels like a lot for these two.
All right, EJ.
I'm right there with you, man. I see Georgia in the blowout. Georgia in the blowout, the cover, and then some, and the under. I think at least some points for next week, for the week after, for the championship game.
I gotta look something up here real quick because I want to in terms of my over under pick. But yeah, Georgia, I agree with you, Matt. 10, 12, 13, 15.
Yep.
I still would have picked Georgia to cover. Ohio State has not been good against a weak schedule this year. I mean, look, I love Notre Dame, but they were within a score of Ohio State in the fourth quarter. Ohio State had trouble putting away Northwestern, putting away Penn State. Teams on their schedule they shouldn't have had. Maryland. Teams on their schedule they shouldn't have had. And one bad game, one or two bad games maybe happened, but it happened numerous times for Ohio State. They got lucky. They were in the spot. We talked about it before championship weekend. They were above Alabama before championship weekend. That's why they're in. Whether it was right or wrong, that debate will never die. But yeah, Georgia by a whole hell of a lot. Michigan put up 40 plus on this Ohio State team the last time we saw the Buckeyes. I think Georgia is going to do the same. Can Ohio State score like 2 touchdowns, maybe a field goal?
40-17. Here we go.
I'm gonna take like this.
So many points.
It's a lot of points. I'm gonna take a slight under.
Yeah,
I think if Ohio State gets like a garbage time touchdown, that over might get hit. But in reality, and again, that's all that matters in gambling is if it hits or not. But in reality, I think this is not going to hit the over. But yeah, this is Georgia. This is Michigan. That should and I think will be your championship matchup, which obviously we'll talk about the week prior to that when it does happen. But yeah, Mike has Georgia by 1 million and the over, and Jordan says dogs by 50. Hopefully, here's the deal: Georgia goes down, wins by 50. I wouldn't be surprised either. I don't think this Ohio State team is really all that good at all. So. That's where we leave college football for this show. We'll probably touch on the championship or the semifinal games next week, but really our last college football predictions until the show before the championship game there. Before we get to the NFL pick'ems for this week, guys, let's take a look at the NFL playoff picture going into week 17. Let's take a look at the AFC side first. Currently sitting in that number 1 seed is the Buffalo Bills. The current wild card matchups would be the 2 seed Chiefs taking on the 7 seed Dolphins, the 3 seed Bengals taking on the 6 seed Chargers, and the 4 seed Jaguars would be taking on the 5 seed Ravens. So, like, obviously, the things we know as of now is the Bills have clinched the division. The Chiefs have clinched the division. The Bengals have clinched a playoff spot, as have the Ravens, and as have the Chargers, who have just clinched a playoff berth. Obviously, they cannot catch the division. Bengals, Ravens still both could win their division. Same as we did last week. What do you see changing in this AFC race over the last 2 weeks, EJ?
I think KC gets the 1 seed. They're going to win out because I think Buffalo will lose next week to Cincinnati. Well, this week rather. I think the teams are in this bubble are going to obviously 6 of the teams are already in there. So I think the Dolphins will find a way to get in. I don't. Obviously, the Tua thing is a big thing, but I think you just need one game. You win one game, you're good. So Chiefs 1 seed, Bengals 2 seed, Bills 3 seed.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll have the tiebreak. Well, hold on. Yeah, because the Bengals had a tiebreak over the Bills. 4 seed would be the Jaguars. I recall it weeks ago. 5. There's a chance that Baltimore could slip to 6 seed though, because and the Lamar Jackson thing could be interesting. If he's out next 2 weeks, they decide to rest him. Maybe lose a couple more games. Maybe the Chargers catch up. The only game behind. So, man, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Teams you see getting there, but it's just gonna.
It's just the order.
You're gonna throw them in the scramble.
I got Miami getting in still. I'm gonna say Chargers the 5 seed, and then Baltimore 6.
All right, Matt. How about you?
I think Buffalo keeps the 1. I think they beat Cincinnati.
Oh.
So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 remaining the same. I'm moving San Diego up to 5, Baltimore down to 6, and I don't see Miami making it if 2 is out. I don't think. I mean, they have the Patriots this week, and then the Jets. Even still, I mean, those are divisional games.
The Patriots have, of course, the Dolphins. Then they are at Buffalo to close the year, and the Jets have Seattle this week, and the Dolphins to close out the year.
And Buffalo will need that game, so it's not like they're resting starters.
Yeah, Buffalo. All the teams in the AFC still have positions to play for. So there's not going to be AFC teams resting. Thank God. Sitting here as a Mahomes and Kelsey owner in a fantasy championship this weekend, still needing those guys to play at full strength.
So I'm bumping Los Angeles up.
Still San Diego. I don't give a shit. San Diego. I still call them San Diego.
The Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. It's like the Angels, dumber.
Bumping the Ravens down to 6, and I'm giving the 7th spot to another member of the AFC North, and I'm putting Pittsburgh in.
Oh, wow.
Mike Tomlin, coach of the year, if that happens.
Pittsburgh takes down the Ravens this week, takes down the Browns to close out the season.
Dang. Look at that.
It's not back in
the
race.
They're in Baltimore, but I'll still give it to them.
Yeah.
Just because it was close last time, and that was with Trubisky.
Yeah, that's going to hinder on Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is. That's going to hinder, obviously, or hinge depending on what happens with Lamar. I'd be shocked if he plays this week.
And here's the thing also, I said when you started, home field advantage man is Buffalo. I think Buffalo, in my opinion, is virtually unbeatable.
Nobody's
if they have home field advantage. It'd be hard to win in Buffalo.
They have the same record as the Chiefs at home. The Chiefs at home are also deadly. Either of those two teams,
right?
If they get the 1 seed,
but I feel like Buffalo, especially because of Buffalo not having multiple home games in a very long time, and that crowd, it's a big edge. So if they had the 1 seed,
they've given games. I mean, I understand.
No, I agree. Yeah,
regular season versus playoff is different, but they've given up games at home all year. I don't think that team is a lock no matter.
Minnesota game. Who lost to Minnesota? That's it, right? At home, right?
Yeah, but they haven't put teams away. That's their problem all year. Playing at home doesn't fix that part of the game for me.
I see a point there, but I just think that home
Bills Mafia in a better spot if they're at home. Absolutely.
I'm just saying Bills Mafia is a big edge. It's a big edge. So I'm saying.
Yeah, but when it comes down to play on the field, they don't have that killer instinct. I don't think. I haven't seen it from them yet. Maybe he gets to the playoffs and it's different.
I mean, they have some big wins, but there's not a lot. But I don't think any team has that absolute, they've throttled a number of opponents.
No,
they beat the Rams big. They beat the Titans big. They beat the Steelers big. They beat the Patriots by 2 scores.
Let me say this, though. Let's assume Matt's right, and they beat the Bengals on Monday Night Football. They'll have that in the back pocket. Well, we beat KC and Cincinnati both. So
yeah, and then they're virtually locked in there. I mean, but still have plenty to play for. But yeah, for me, I think the Bengals win this week. So that would put the Chiefs in the driver's seat for that 1 seed. And I think they would get that. And then I think then the Bengals would have the inside edge for the 2 seed. So give me Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo, and then Jacksonville. Those are your top 4. I do think that the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles make it up to the 5 seed. Baltimore falls to the 6, and I think the Patriots on the legs of a win over Miami this weekend. More on that later. Will end up getting that 7 seed.
Worth noting though, Bengals went out. KC slips out 1 time. Bengals 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's in play too for them as well.
I don't see KC slipping.
I don't either.
To Vegas or to Denver.
Yeah. I think Kansas City. The key for the Bills is this weekend. The Bengals. I mean, they obviously have to win out and hope the Chiefs lose, but I don't see the Chiefs losing. Any of
I think the Chiefs have the easiest road to the 1 seed, and I wouldn't be surprised if they took it.
I think it's just based on their ease of schedule, which honestly, when we were probably looking at this preseason and would have thought, Denver and Las Vegas to close the year was like murderer's row. And now it's like, they're going to walk into this 1 seed. All right, let's go to the NFC side. Currently the Eagles are the 1 seed. I think they only need a win or like a Vikings loss to lock that up.
Mm-hmm.
The current 2-7 matchup would be Minnesota, Washington. The 3-6 matchup would be San Francisco and New York, and the 4-5 currently Tampa Bay and Dallas. Dallas still in play for the NFC East win, although quite a long shot for them. They would need to win out. Philly would need to lose out. Matt, what changes, if any, do you see in the NFC over the last 2 weeks?
As much as I hate to do it, because I would love to claim the NFC beast next year with all 4 teams making it, I do not see the Commanders making it in. I have them out, and I'm putting in Jim's beloved Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
That is a disgusting.
Finding a way to make it into the playoffs at 9-8. I think they beat Minnesota this week, and then I think they beat the Frisky Lions week 18.
Son of a bitch.
And make it in.
Fuck you, buddy.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that would definitely be unfortunate. EJ, how about you? Any changes in the NFC?
Obviously, the Eagles 1 seed. That's a lock. That's a virtual lock at this point now.
It's a lock.
I do see a swap at 2 and 3. I think San Fran wins out. Minnesota slips up 1 time this week against Green Bay.
Against Green Bay, yeah.
There's a swap there. I think we discussed last week on the podcast that San Fran has a better conference record. That'll give them the edge there. I believe we discussed it last week on the podcast.
Yeah, I think
So I'll give me San Francisco at 2, Minnesota at 3.
San Fran against QA-Ron in the first round of the playoffs would be a fun matchup.
Oh, absolutely. The 4 seed, look, Carolina's surging. Carolina is playing good football. And
then we get to see the Vikings break EJ's heart again.
No, I'm gonna still stick with Tampa, man. I look, they don't look good, man, but just give me 1 fucking win.
I don't see the Panthers as much as we all joke about that. And as much as I would like to be right about it, I'm not going to be right about it.
Give me Tampa at 4. Obviously, Dallas at 5. They'll lock to the 5 seed, barring.
Look, the only thing Dallas can do is win the East and end up 1 through 4. With this past weekend, they locked up 5th or better.
Now let me say this.
They can't fall any lower than the.
Let me say this though. Dallas is in a kind of a weird situation though, like because they're pretty much locked at 5. I don't know the injury situation with the team now, but this is a good time to start resting guys and getting guys healthy between now and wildcard weekend.
This weekend would tell them if the Eagles win this week, then they're done. So they'll probably rest.
Yeah, if anything, week 18, they're gonna still go for broke this week because they play Thursday.
Right. That's true. We play Tennessee.
So there will be no resting of anybody this week because
Right.
they still can win. Honestly, they can still become the 1 seed, I believe.
Yeah, win out and Philly loses out.
Well, Philly would
They
lose
would
out.
need-
You'd have a tiebreaker over the Vikings, and I think I don't know what their tiebreaker situation is
I
over
think
the
it would be conference record, and I think the Niners have the better one.
Yeah, they would need the Niners to lose.
Niners
Dallas
would
can
need
be
to
either
lose.
the 1, the 2, or the 5 seed because they would still hold a tiebreaker over the Vikings in the head-to-head.
Right. So 4 seed, I'm gonna go Tampa. 5 seed Dallas, obviously. 6 seed the Giants. They'll take their business this weekend. I think they take business. It's the Colts. They'll clinch. And then the 7 seed. This is interesting because I think Washington has the toughest schedule of the 3 or 4 teams involved.
So let's look at it. New York remaining has Colts and then at Philly.
So then if New York locks this week with a win over the Colts, EJ, do you think they rest like Saquon Dimes the last week?
Yeah,
okay.
They will. I think they will.
So then even if the Eagles would lose to the Saints, they possibly play a second string roster of the Giants week 18.
Washington has Cleveland and Dallas both at home. Seattle, I'm just going through all the teams that are still alive. The Seattle has the Jets and the Rams both at home. Detroit has the Bears at home at Green Bay. Green Bay has the Vikings at home and the Lions at home. And the Panthers, what are they looking at Tampa? Yeah, this week could pretty much lock that up, I believe.
So the Packers playing both those teams in Lambeau to close out the season is why I have them sneaking into the 7.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Detroit fucked themselves this week.
They did.
Detroit fucked themselves this week.
I think they might have been looking ahead too much.
Yeah,
that was the game they needed to have. They needed to beat the Panthers. If they do, they're pretty much set at the 7 seed because then they'll probably take down the Bears easily, be it 9-7, and then the Packers can maybe tie them.
So Detroit Green Bay week 18 could be for the 7 seed pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, Seattle could be out by then. You think? I mean, they're paying the Jets this weekend.
Seattle has a pretty poor conference record. So I think
Seattle's conference record is 5-6.
Ugh.
The Lions is 5-5. Green Bay is 5-5. New York's 4-6-1. The Washington's is 4-6-1. There's a lot of ugly there.
Has Seattle played anyone head to head? They beat the Lions, so they could still.
Yeah, so the Lions need Seattle to lose. That's why Seattle's currently sitting above them in the race.
Give me Green Bay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to this. It comes down to Aaron Rodgers. And they are granted they beat some shit teams, but Miami's not a shit team.
They are right with a concussed Tua.
Right.
Miami's crumbling.
You gave number 12 an opportunity to do some shit here, and Minnesota's beatable, obviously very beatable. And then Detroit, that pressure, Detroit and Green Bay. I mean, it's amazing what 1 week does. I'm thinking Detroit wins out. All of a sudden, now they lose to Carolina in a blowout fashion. Like, I lost all faith. So give me Green Bay.
Philly gets the 1 seed. They're definitely going to lock this up. One of probably this weekend. But definitely over one of the last 2. I think San Francisco does move into that 2 seed. Minnesota falls to the 3. I think Tampa is gonna find a way to beat Carolina this weekend and pretty much put a lock on that. End up as the 4, Dallas as the 5. With New York only needing 1 win to get in, I think they lock in that 6 seed. And look, as long as they're still live, I can't pick against my Lions pick. So they're gonna beat the Bears this weekend. And man, how much happier can you make me to get a preseason pick right and you and Aaron Rodgers' chance of getting into the playoffs in week 18? Give me the freaking Lions, baby. That's gonna
Now,
be my
perfect scenario for me. Perfect scenario for me would be the Giants getting 16 and Washington at 17. Means my team gets in the playoffs, and my shocking pick that I thought was crazy was saying
right. So why?
wins out with 17.
So you can't even commit to the thing you predicted before.
Well, this is also week to week.
Which tells me you have given up.
This is also week to week.
I am not giving up.
Yeah,
on
but
my
I'm also.
Lions.
But if you want.
Do
you want ego or analysis here? Real analysis here tells you that the better team right now is probably Green Bay.
Go ego. What the hell are we even doing here for going analysis?
I know I'm jumping back in late, but Green Bay is the better team.
EJ and I have Green Bay sneaking into the 7 seed here.
Good Christ, why? I mean, granted, I will admit that this is people putting faith in the Cleveland Browns.
They have the Vikings
the Commodore
and the Lions
song on this board
home.
because of you. And you don't have the balls to still stick with your prediction? For shame, EJ.
Who's the quarterback on week 17? Is it Heineke? Is it Wentz?
Who cares?
I mean, Wentz did come in the game on Sunday.
I'll put it this way: I would need a lot of beer if it's not Heineke. I'm just saying.
Okay. Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did there.
No, I'm with you on this. EJ's Niners will pass the Vikings. I'm with that.
I love how because of EJ's Niners.
And Kyle,
that's my favorite part of this show.
Kyle, it'll happen because of Aaron will be the reason that happens because they'll beat Minnesota this weekend.
No, it'll happen because the Niners will take care of business. That's
no, right, but you still need Green Bay. You still need Minnesota to lose one game to happen.
Okay, well, and
now this weekend
because I'm glad we don't have any Giants on this panel because the Giants effing up the rotation is really what threw me off. But because I thought the Niners would make it because the Giants were going to win allegedly.
Yeah, but I had told you
allegedly
you chose wrong last week. I warned you. You don't listen to me, but whatever.
3 points, I mean, but hey, look, at the end of the day, Danny Dimes did well enough to where he's going to re-sign. So all the Cowboys fans on this panel and Eagles fans on this panel will be happy.
Lock him up.
Calm down, Jim. Calm down.
Lock him up.
Why are you Redskins fan? Excuse me, Tails fan. Excuse me, Commodores fan. Excuse me, Commanders
fan. Excuse me, Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
Oh, back.
That's why I'm
I blame me.
I did that for Kyle. EJ, you don't get that bite anymore. You've thrown in the towel. You've given it up.
What's watching the next 2 games? They got Cleveland. Who else?
Dallas.
Yeah.
Who may be resting people, may not be. They might
So
be playing
here's
for
the
the
thing.
division at that point.
Here's the thing: if Washington wins this week, look at the 7 seed. I got you that.
Look at you trying to. You just burned out your tires.
I'm picking Cleveland to win. That's the thing. I'm picking the Browns to win this week.
Why? If I may,
shame.
Like what do you see that makes
EJ? You have the chance to be right from a preseason pick.
You know what?
No, you don't get. No, you don't get to throw your car in reverse.
Give me Giants at 6. Give me Washington at 7. I'm good.
No, you already stamped it in at the Packers.
Yep, no, you threw it in.
I gave him Washington and Cleveland.
Hey, Jim. EJ has more flip-flops than anybody in Florida, and I don't mean shoes. Got him.
Kyle, do you see any changes in the NFC between now and the end of the year? I know you said the Niners take over.
I do think the Niners take the 2 seed. I do. I just don't have enough faith in the Vikings.
Anybody else?
This weekend being such a big game for Matt's frisky Panthers to sneak in with a losing record over Thomas Edward, Patrick Beaver, Brady. And I mean, no offense to you, Matt. I just can't pick Hey Darnold over TD.
I didn't pick him either.
Yeah.
I gave up on my shameless pick. And you know what? I'm not going to reverse that and try to shoehorn them in.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. At least you're committed to it.
The Giants, I think, will find a way as well. That's solid. I'll tell you, this Monday game is going to be interesting. I see Joey Burr with a great potential to get the Chiefs into the number 1 seed. I really do. Because, I think Matt's observation that the Chiefs' late schedule being weak is completely accurate. As for the whole season, he's wrong. But certainly in the coming 2 weeks.
As weak as it was in the beginning of the season.
Oh, I'm sorry. When did the Eagles play the 49ers? Thank you. Anyways.
The 49ers who lost to the Bears, that's not a strong team.
You have no problem beating them. Sorry, what? I can't hear you over the sound of your fail. With the Chiefs will definitely beat the Broncos. I don't think anybody's questioning that. Anybody questioning the Chiefs beating the Raiders in the last week? Good, me neither. So,
Jim, can you remind me, when did the Eagles, they requested to play the Niners and were denied? Is that what happened?
Oh,
yeah, without question.
They don't pick the schedule. That has nothing to do with
hey, Roger, can I get a schedule, please? And Roger's like, nah, we're not going to do that.
Gotcha.
Hey, Kyle, did you say Cincinnati 1 seed?
I didn't say 1 seed.
No, he had Cincinnati possibly beating Buffalo to put Kansas City in the 1 seed.
So that would put Cincy in the 2, correct?
Yeah, that would drop Buffalo from 1 to 3.
Correct.
I think you're right.
No, correct. That's what it is.
I'll give you credit. I didn't think that far ahead. So,
because Cincinnati's 11-4, Buffalo's 12-3, and if Cincy beats Buffalo,
and
Kansas City rises up, and Buffalo would fall to the 3 because of the head-to-head.
But KC gets the one hiccup, which won't happen. But that's how one hiccup. And
yeah, we already said that that's not happening. They played Denver and the Raiders.
Vegas.
That was the lead. Thank you, EJ. Put that in your notes. Maybe you won't make that mistake again. So with all that in mind,
I need my pad. Bring it down. I already got mug once ready.
Here you go. Merchandising.
Merchandising.
Merchandising. I do think also Miami falls out through no fault of their own. I think the whole concussion situation is extremely problematic. And if anybody's going to take advantage of a situation like that, it's going to be Bill Belichick and Robert Saleh.
So who do you have end up getting the 7 seed then?
I am not inclined to answer that.
So you want to hear Kyle's answer? Not Kyle. Matt's answer. He has your Steelers getting there.
I did put the Steelers in.
Who's Steelers?
Matt's Steelers. Well, your Steelers actually. No.
Who's Steelers?
Who's Steelers?
It's Kyle Steelers. Kyle Steelers.
You're assigning them to everyone.
Yeah. Well, you picked them, and Kyle loves them.
I mean, the only reason I don't have them in there is because Kenny Pickett wasn't started at the beginning of the year, like I told Mike Tomlin to do, and I said they would win 10
Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, exactly. He got the start, and I picked the Steelers to win 10 games, assuming Kenny Pickett would start, and he didn't. I'm not here to throw Omar Epps under the bus, but I guess I just did.
Let's see. Mike says he thinks week 18 Lions Packers to be for the 7 seed, and it'll get flexed into Sunday night. Yeah, definitely that's in play. He thinks Carolina wins this week. We'll get to that prediction later.
Interesting.
He said he thinks Seattle loses this week to the Jets and Mike White. Certainly possible.
I agree.
And yeah, like we said, if Cincinnati wins out, they are the 2 seed unless KC loses.
I guess I'm picking the Jets to be 7 by extension, but I digress.
Yeah, I had New England getting in because they beat Miami this week, and they have the edge over the Jets. They are currently then
they have the Bills final week, who are probably still playing for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, they'll need no matter what.
Jets.
Yeah, so maybe it's either going to be the Jets or the Patriots. But more on that next week. All right, let's go.
Oh, real quick, Kyle, do you think the Ravens stay at 5? Because we all said they'll fall to 6.
That's a great question, actually. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Let me get to that.
Ravens have Pittsburgh.
Ooh, God.
And Cincinnati. Who's Cincinnati still going to be live over the last 2 weeks. And the Chargers have the Colts. No, they have the Rams and the Broncos.
So let me get this straight. You have the Ravens in what might be the toughest rivalry currently existing in the NFL, and Joey Burr versus a team that sucks and a team that just fired their coach. Yeah, no.
And also without Lamar Jackson, probably.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So I'm with you. Chargers move up 1.
All right. Let's get to the picks in the NFL for the weekend. We will start with some teams we've been talking about. I think most of these games are teams we've been talking about. It is the 7-8 New York Jets. They are a 2-point road favorite at 7-8 Seattle. 42.5 is your over under. This one, New Year's Day, gentlemen. We are starting off the new year with some important football. 4:05 Eastern time on Fox. Kyle, we'll start with you.
I'm going to have to find a way to get from the coach's presser for the Citrus Bowl and get in place to watch these games. It's a big deal as I cover the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl for the 3-point conversion after covering the Cheez-It Bowl for the 3-point conversion. Don't ask me, it's naming rights BS. Yes, am I stalling? You bet that ass I am. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Jets, scoring 19 points. It's because Mike White wasn't starting. Zach Wilson officially makes me correct in the affirmation that he should not have been drafted where he was. The Jets take care of business. Nicely done, Jim. and the Jets take care of business. Robert Saleh collects one last receipt, which also in it is the gift, a late Christmas gift, if you will, of a playoff entrance. I have the Jets.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, let's end Pete Carroll's season. That's a good way to start the new year. Give me the Jets minus the 2. Give me the over on that, though, at 42.5.
So what you're saying is all this rigmarole about moving Russell Wilson and all that and all that and how he's such a big winner really got him to finish just the same as he would have with Russell Wilson. Very fascinating stuff, Matt.
I don't think anyone would ever say that I said Pete Carroll's a smart man.
Says the Notre Dame fan. What's up, Irish?
I mean, well, and then the Broncos got worse. And the Broncos got worse with Russell Wilson. So I don't know who wins in that divorce. EJ.
Nobody does, damn it.
It was Jets minus 2, right? You said?
Yes.
See, the hard part here is that it's in Seattle, and 12th man is still 12th man. But fuck it, give me the Jets to slightly cover this game. Give me the under.
I'll take the under. I think
that's the bet, really. The under.
I think the under is the smart play. I feel like both offenses are kind of sputtering a bit, and I think the Jets are going to try to protect Mike White's ribs as much as they can in hopes that he stays alive for the playoffs.
I think Seattle's getting Lockett back in a better capacity than they've had all season. So there's that. But at the end of the day, I don't think Geno Smith is in a position to deliver that ball with the Jets defense. So
Right. So give me the Jets to cover because fuck Pete Carroll, and I will take the under as well. This is always going to be a fuck Pete Carroll household, no matter what. Mike has the goddamn Jets and the under. Then we go to EJ's game. It is the 8-7 and should be 2-less Miami Dolphins, but with that team and medical staff, I guess we can't be too sure. But they are 8-7 nonetheless, and a 2.5-point road favorite at 7-8 New England. 42 is your over under on this one. Sunday 1 o'clock CBS. EJ, your game. Go ahead.
Without knowing what Tua's happening to Tua, I'm going to still take Miami to win this game. Give me a slight over, though. A slight over.
Okay.
Only say that.
Say what?
Slight
over.
Because they got the number.
It's also dramatic. I told you earlier.
They pegged the number right. They pegged the number.
I told you earlier. He's dramatic. He has to throw that in.
Yeah.
All right, give me the Patriots minus the 2.5, and give me a big under.
See, dramatic.
I like that. Kyle.
I'm not as confident as EJ is in the Dolphins, nor am I into a situation. I'm going to take the great and evil Darth Hoodie to win the day. It's going to be unfortunate. Mike McDaniel is a good coach. He had the opportunity to win a Coach of the Year until he hit a 6-game slide, which I don't think is necessarily his fault per se. But yeah, I have the Pats.
I think New England, and hell, if I'm predicting them to end up in that 7 seed, I think this weekend plays into that big time. So I think they have to win here, so they cover and get the win. And I think a under is at play. I think Miami's gonna, even though they have 2 great wide receivers, and a decent running game, I think they're gonna struggle to score points without Tua. and the Patriots stink. So give me the under on that one. Mike has the hoodie and the over. Devin has the Miami and the under. Oh, darn right. All right, Matt, let's go to your game. It is the 6-9 and the frisky Carolina Panthers still alive at 7-8 Tampa Bay. That's for you, Kyle. They are a 3-point home favorite. 39 is your over under in this game.
That's
yes,
high.
that is a 3 and a 9 Sunday, 1:00 on Fox. Matt, your game. Go ahead.
I mean, I already gave up on my frisky Panthers as much as they proved me wrong last week. I'm not going to backtrack and backpedal. I'll stay true to my convictions here. So give me Tom and the Bucks minus the 3. I will take a slight over.
All right, EJ.
Man, give me Tampa minus 3 and give me the under this one.
Is that like a big under or is
a
this
slight under?
All right, Kyle, go ahead.
Avoid this game at all costs. It's the one game I put in the matchup mania on the 3-point conversion. Bing! That I actively want people to not watch. And I did it simply because of the fact of the pure car accident of a game that it's going to be. Hey, Darnold's a big no. Tampa lame will sneak through.
Thing sucks.
And yes, and so does Jim's prophetic use of Tampa Bay.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, exactly. How do you give that to a losing team, jackwagon? Stick to criticizing Dakota Prescott and let's move on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't criticize my own quarterback. That's my bad. All right. Yeah, look, I have Tampa making the playoffs and winning the South. I think they're going to pretty much lock it up. I think they would lock it up this weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
With a win. So yeah, give me Tampa. They're going to find a way. Give me Carolina to cover because this game's going to suck that much. Without question.
Love of God.
It's just going to be that bad. And give me the under. God. Yeah, I agree with Kyle though. Do whatever you can to avoid watching, thinking about
2-0 final score.
Seeing this game, it is just gonna be
baseball.
Awful. Mike has Hey Darnold and the over. Like I'm gonna watch the Red Zone and I'm gonna tweet at Scott Hansen. Please don't put that game on my TV at all today. Kyle, we go to your game. It is the 6-9 Cleveland Browns at the 7-1. Commanders, a 2-point home favorite, 40.5. So not much better than that.
Jeez.
Predicted. 40.5 0 or under Sunday, 1:00 on Fox. Kyle, we'll start with you.
So, but get the under for this one. I'm not saying bet, but I'm going to take the under for sure. Both these teams rely on controlling the ball. Be it the Browns in their run game or the Commanders
or Washington in their inability to score.
Yeah, I'll leave that at this, folks. The punchline is
this game.
Yeah. God, you know who loses? America. So no, wait, sorry, that's Hey Darnold and Champa Bay. God, I'm stalling because I can't get through all this manure. It is the Browns, so that works. Anyways, I'm going to get EJ one game closer to actually getting a chance to mock all of us. God, isn't that scary?
He lost that right.
I've got the Red Tails winning this. Sorry, Commanders winning this game. Simply because Deshaun Watson is hapless currently.
He just needs it. Never mind. EJ, go ahead.
Well, if Washington is going to make the 7th seed, this is the game here. This is the game.
You already said they weren't.
No, but I undid the pick. So give me Washington win this game. I forgot how bad the Browns are still, even with Deshaun Watson. 10 points against New Orleans at home. It's a bad look. Washington put up at least 17, right? Come on. So give me Washington to cover this game. Give me the way under.
Oh, there we go.
That actually sounded like a commitment. Holy shit, EJ.
How about that?
Hey. God, what a horrible game.
You're gonna watch it.
No, I'm not. I'm going to watch Red Zone.
Red Zone, right?
The Cowboys play on Thursday, and so Sunday's an easy day for me, thank God. Thursday night, not so much. At Big Jim Sports on Twitter. Give me Washington plus the 2.
BKG.
Yeah, I think they get it done here. The Browns suck out loud. Good God, what a
They
suck.
beat the Saints. Oh, but
Who also suck ass. And give me the under on this one. Mike has Watson's massage parlor and the under. Wow.
I would also take that. Not the massage parlor version.
you correct yourself there, Matt.
But give me the Browns and the under.
Oh, that's right. I totally skipped over you. My bad, Matt.
Sorry. It's a terrible game.
I was just trying to save you from having to pick this game. Then we go to Sunday Night Football. A game flex into this spot, and all of a sudden, I wasn't even thinking about it. To Matt's point earlier with the predictions, still has playoff implications for both teams. Here it is the 7-8 Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin still can end up finishing the year without having a losing season. Which, if we were in a normal 17 game season, he could just lock that up this weekend. But thanks, Roger Goodell. But they are at 10-5 Baltimore, who's a 3-point home favorite, and the lowest of the over-unders for the weekend, 36. This one's Sunday night, 8:20 on NBC and Peacock. EJ, we'll start with you.
Mike Tomlin does it. Give me Pittsburgh plus the points, and give me this is not low enough. Give me under.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I picked them to make it into the playoffs, and they'd have to win both to do that. So give me the Steelers plus the 3. I'll take the over, though, on this one.
Kyle.
Oh man, listen, this isn't a simple one for me because it is literally the best rivalry in the era that I've been watching football in the NFL. This is a game where Charlie Batch and Byron Leftwich were made relevant in games as backups for the Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger had his nose bent into the shape of a Z. Where
Don't forget Tommy Maddox.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, XFL baby.
Well, no, he was supplanted by the time this happened, but I appreciate the drop, Matt. At any rate, no. Listen, for my money, guys, I'm inclined to. We don't know enough about who's starting yet to really know. Like, as Lamar Demetrius.
That's a good question.
That's the tough part about sitting here on Tuesday.
Yeah, Lamar Demetrius Jackson, we still don't know. Kenny Pickett, is he officially out? I don't know that we know that. Crap.
Let me see here.
I'm assuming Lamar's out, and they're probably going to rest of the year. Make sure they're ready for the playoffs.
That would be a good move long term. They've clinched. That's a great point.
So yesterday, Ravens head coach John Harbaugh said, "We'll just have to see," when asked about whether or not Lamar Jackson will practice this week. So if they're not even committing to him practicing this week, I'm going to venture a guess that he's not playing this Sunday.
And you know what? Since I'm wearing black to mourn the retirement of one Watt brother, I will support the other. I got TJ and company handling business on the road against the Baltimore Ravens.
All right. And for me, as much as I hate to do this, give me the Steelers to beat the Ravens. I don't like to do that, but yeah, I think especially if Lamar is not playing, the Ravens are teetering on bad, and the Steelers are kind of trending upwards. So, yeah, give me the Steelers to win and to end up getting to 500 with a chance to still make the playoffs. And give me the under. I think both defenses are good. That's the smart play if you're going to touch this game at all. Mike says white picket fence and the over. So that is where we leave the picks for week 17. But EJ, now it is your time to shine. I'm just happy Kyle got back so we can see the dance.
Exactly.
I'm still sad on the inside mourning J.J. Watt's retirement, just so everybody knows.
I'm also kind of sad none of us picked the Bills-Bengals game.
Yeah, now looking at it, I think somebody screwed up there. I don't know.
Well, I think someone's right. Did say we kind of did say it right on the playoff picture thing. I had Bengals winning.
I blame Kyle for picking Browns Commanders and missing the Bills.
Well, I was trying to throw shade at EJ, so I blame him for picking the Red Tails in the first place.
All right, as long as we're shitting on EJ, that's fine by me.
Way to go, EJ.
All right,
Bengals win. So,
yeah, I in my predictions earlier, I said I think the Bengals win this week. All right, let's stare at the right side of the screen first.
Kyle,
on our side,
put it in place
to look at EJ's bottom five. EJ, what's your bottom five for the week?
Bottom five, 28-32. Here we go. 28 Cardinals, 29 Bears, 30 Colts, 31 Texans, 32 Broncos.
I can't argue with any of those because that's exactly what my bottom five are in order.
There you go. Matt?
I think that's all fair. I think that is all fair.
Yeah, I think Broncos being in that last spot absolutely has to be there. Yeah, I have no. Kyle, any issues with the bottom five?
I mean, I've been telling him to take the Texans out of 32 for how many weeks now? So
they won this week. They actually won this week. So there you go.
Who cares? They challenged your Chiefs and many other good teams, but you don't want to talk about that. Anyways, you'd rather
Chiefs, his Cowboys, you know,
Vikings,
the whole list.
I guess. Anyways, no. Listen, with injuries and all that, your bottom five is pretty solid. On this, I shan't front.
All right.
All right.
We go to the top 10.
Here you go. Number 10, the Jaguars. Number 9, the Ravens. 8, Vikings. 7, Chargers. 6, Cowboys. 5, Niners. 4, Bengals. 3, Chiefs. 2, Bills. 1, Eagles. Again, top 6, the exact as it was. Actually made a mistake there. Nah, fuck it.
Yeah, you did.
I penalized the Bengals a little bit this week because of almost losing to New England. So,
yeah, I didn't change anything in my top 5, so I still had Philly, Buffalo, Cincy, San Francisco, and Kansas City. The Kansas City drop was from a week ago. If you want to put them above the Niners, I'm not going to have a problem with it. I personally have the Chargers above Dallas still,
as you should.
Yes, Dallas beat Philly. Dallas also gave up, 34 to Gardner Minshew II. So there's concerns there. There's concerns there.
Still
for
speaking
me.
ill of Uncle Rico.
Look, here's the deal. You gave up 34 to a backup quarterback. I understand there's a lot of weapons on that Eagles offense. And they've been my number one team in my rankings for weeks, but you shouldn't have given up 34 fucking points this past week. You just shouldn't have. I have the Vikings at 8. I have the Jaguars and the Ravens flipped. I actually have the Jags because I look at if the two teams played today, I would put the Jags over the Ravens.
You have the Jags beating the Ravens again.
Which they've been once already.
Yeah.
And without Lamar Demetrius Jackson. So let's get the obvious out of the way. You have once again overrated the NFC. I think Cowboys are too high. Jim's right about that. The Vikings at 8. What is your obsession with the Minnesota Vikings, man?
I mean, beat the Giants.
I mean, they should be lower than it. Are they worse than Baltimore and Jacksonville? I mean, are we doing that?
I can make that argument. I really can.
I mean,
of all the teams that have the record they do, who is taken the least serious on this? No, and this is real talk. Who on this board is taken less seriously than the Minnesota Vikings of the 10 teams?
Right now, without Lamar Jackson,
maybe Baltimore.
Now, if Lamar is healthy, this is a different story.
Okay, that's great that you keep backpedaling, but who's also arguably among the best backup quarterbacks, who's the most battle tested in the NFL, and that would also be Huntley. I mean, so this is why that answer.
Look,
great over the last couple of weeks, though.
I mean, he's squeaking by the fraud squeaking by I mean, look, the better team, they need Lamar. Bottom line.
Okay, and as bad as your Giants are, as you keep reminding us every week, even though you pound the table for Brian Daboll as a Coach of the Year candidate, you tool. I don't see how beating them by only 3. Wow, I didn't want to go full red on him. Damn, Jim, that was harsh.
Well, I mean, they didn't move.
Sorry, not sorry.
Minnesota's still in the same spot they were last week.
That
Again,
doesn't mean it's okay. They should have been penalized last week.
I mean,
And
again,
listened to last
you're
week's episode of Huddle Up, Bing.
look.
And
I
you
don't.
didn't make any good case. As a
I
matter
mean,
of fact,
again, they're
I
12-3.
didn't have the opportunity to complete my dunk on you because you kept interrupting me like you were trying to do now. Jim kept trying to come in and save your sorry ass, which he can't do now because the Vikings are still hapless, barely squeaking by your allegedly bad Giants by only 3 points. So tell me, please,
Allegedly.
give me something about the Vikings that are worth them at 8.
The only reason they're even in the top 10 is because they're 12-3.
You know,
They're 12-3.
no. I don't want to
Not
hear
helping yourself, EJ. You're not helping yourself.
I mean,
records don't matter in power rankings, and they shouldn't. Okay,
They still have a point differential of 5.
Yeah.
At
Which-
12
I
and
mean,
3.
but again, and we said this last week. Isn't you being a 12-3 team but being number 8 in the rankings punishment enough?
no, dumbass.
What about you two?
Look, I have him at 8 because
I don't necessarily. I wouldn't have them behind the Ravens or the Jags.
yeah, and then that's the thing. If they're playing Jacksonville or Baltimore, I'm picking the Vikings. I'm not picking them against.
No. So I will. No. That's what I'll say. If you're playing the Ravens with Lamar
We
Jackson,
were just agreeing with you and you
Yeah,
interrupted
don't-
us.
No. But again, I'm making a point here. If Minnesota, if Baltimore had Lamar Jackson healthy, they'd be number 9, not number 8.
Okay,
That's it.
So
again,
wait. EJ, you keep beating me over the head with their record, right? This is
Well,
what you
I mean,
do. No. Don't do it. You already killed yourself. 3 of the games are against 2 of the teams that you have in your bottom 5. Are they not? Oh, I'm sorry. 4 of the games. That's not about the Colts and what is a historically ridiculous comeback that they pulled off. But you want to keep telling me about 12 wins. Stop it. Just
again,
stop it.
so
No,
they-
don't again me. I know
they have but again, you have this.
And
The
you
number
can't do it.
18,
You're
the number
picking
18 has the same
one.
record as number 2 and 3.
I can talk
Okay.
over you too. This is me. My name's EJ Christian, and I'm a tool. And the only weapon I have, because I don't know anything about football, is talking over the opposition. And you can make the same mistake for the second week in a row. Listen, I listened to the tape.
That is a disgusting act.
You done?
Yeah, I am actually now. You
Okay,
go.
good. The number 8 team has the look. Are they a Super Bowl contender? In my opinion, they're not.
That is
They have the same exact record as the number 2, number 3 team on this list right now. Okay?
It's a
No. But my point is, if they are ranked number 8, a far distance from number 2 and 3 teams, isn't them being in the bottom of the 10 enough
Ask
punishment
and
enough?
answer,
You asked
counselor.
this 4 minutes ago, and Kyle said no, and then turned blue, yelling at you. Why?
Now,
did you-
look, if you think they're better, if you think Minnesota, Baltimore's better than Minnesota without Lamar Jackson, go right ahead. I mean, it's a bad take, but go right ahead. You can own the bad take all
Not a
you want.
bad take.
It's a
Your
horrible
take
take.
is
It's a
bad.
horrible
You
take.
said
It's a horrible
that.
take.
I'm
Horrible
one
take.
who sells a T-shirt on the basis of shit takes. Here, let me get my tool time notebook, then I can do that. Okay,
You know what's fascinating though? These two guys have number 8 also too.
that doesn't make them right. Listen, Matt's under the impression the Eagles don't have an easy schedule. The hell does he
Never
know?
said that. Never once said that.
He's literally never defended the Eagles' schedule as being tough for the
Oh,
record.
bullshit. I'm not doing this.
I mean, I just don't know. Like,
The whole time, Kyle, you've just been arguing yourself because you brought up strength of schedule. I never did. You've said that I've said the Eagles have a difficult one. Never said that. I've said it's more difficult than the Chiefs, which it is.
It's not.
That's all I've said.
Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, yeah, I'm no problem with this.
Numbers
I'm
guy, tell me why I'm wrong. Numbers guy, tell me what about the Chiefs' strength of schedule is more impressive than the Eagles.
data guy.
Waiting.
Yeah,
Data
about
guy.
to say,
Thank you.
At least let's account for the fact that it's more than just numbers.
For the record, I will say this. I don't know how these are calculated. Okay. I am just looking at the NFL standings on ESPN.com.
First problem.
Okay. Give me another second, jackass, and I will look up on another website.
That's an indictment of you.
But the Eagles' strength of schedule rating is at 0.473. The Chiefs is at 0.471.
And here's the
this
key.
board.
Nobody has any clue how they come up with that number. And-
But go ahead, make your point, and
I'll see that and raise you this as well, my friend. That number doesn't account for injuries. which the one thing I'll say for EJ in his top 10 is he does. He's finally put the Cardinals in his bottom 5 on the strength of the fact that they're putting in Trace McSorley at quarterback. Good Christ.
For the record, let's see. Continue. Let me just read here real quick.
Oh, okay. But I know for a fact it doesn't account for injured quarterbacks. Now, I will grant this, and I said this earlier in the show, giving Matt the credit he deserves, because it's not like he's a complete goofball, because he's not. He's just wrong on this particular point. And that is,
I'm waiting to hear how.
I'm getting there. The Chiefs do have an easier schedule than one would have thought, with the AFC West being as bad as they are. Their first game against the Chargers was against a Charger team that was relatively first strength or top tier. Then they got hurt. But the Chargers weren't as hurt. They got hurt basically during the Chiefs game. That's when Herbert got hurt. That's when they lost Bosa the next week in the Jacksonville game to make that a debacle. The Chiefs have played both the Niners and the Bills. They also have the Bengals on the schedule. That alone I can make a sale on. But also having to play the Chargers twice. They play the Jaguars. Nobody on the Eagles' schedule, in my opinion, rivals any of that. Who's the toughest team on the Eagles' schedule? Is it the Cowboys? I don't know. But I can't pick out any particularly big games.
It is the Cowboys.
Okay. I rest my case there, Matt.
I mean, if you want to put Minnesota in there also, too, go right ahead.
You want to put Minnesota
I'm not going to do that.
Yes, you are. Look at your rankings. They're 8. Anyways.
As they should be 8.
No, that doesn't make it right.
Okay, 9. The lowest thing was 9. That's it.
Hey, Matt, I'm still waiting for your retort while Toolbag takes up your airtime.
I mean, you've just been saying that this is a very difficult schedule. Like the Niners, and you brought up the Bills and the Bengals. Great, tough teams. Lost both of those. So I don't understand why that.
Win or loss isn't the question. It's the toughness of the schedule, right?
Okay.
For the record, Sports Illustrated has the Eagles' strength of schedule at 0.451. No, 0.473. The Chiefs at 0.471. So
I don't care if
neither schedule is difficult. Everywhere I'm seeing has, and again, without having more time to look into websites, every site that I have looked at has the Eagles like 1 or 2 ahead of the Chiefs. So neither schedule difficult, and I don't think anybody should be going to bat for either of these team schedules, for the record. But everywhere has the Eagles slightly ahead, both of them in the bottom third.
So let's and as much as I have my issues with the top 10, it's or the bottom part of the top 10, it's mostly correct, I feel like. But the other team that the Eagles face on this top 10 is the Cowboys. The Chiefs have 3 of these teams. Can somebody help me with that? Like, wow, I got quiet.
I'm pulling up both teams' schedules, just to be able to kind of look at them.
Again, the argument was brought up by you that the Eagles have had a cake schedule, the Chiefs have not. That was my only argument with you. Was that
I don't know that I went as far as to say the Chiefs have not. If I left you with that impression, then that's bad presentation by me, and I apologize for that. I'm not trying to bang the schedule to say that the Chiefs have a tough schedule. Now, I may have certainly early in the year
played tougher teams.
The AFC West has come to be the disappointment that it is. Okay, cool. If that's what you're saying, I'm not arguing that.
I mean, I'm saying when you're mixing in everything, though, you do have to look at wins and losses beyond that, because the argument was made by you that the Eagles at 1 was asinine because it should have been the Chiefs, and the reason for it was because the Eagles had the easy schedule.
How many weeks ago was that at this point?
I mean, 3, 4. It wasn't long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
It wasn't the first week of the season.
It was after Thanksgiving, that's for sure.
It was the Chiefs, a month ago, and I'm still getting this question. Okay, great.
The Chiefs, yes, they have played games against Buffalo and San Francisco, and they lost to Cincinnati. They have also played games against Arizona. They lost to Indy.
Before they lost their starting quarterback.
They weren't good with Kyler Murray.
They were better with Kyler Murray.
They still weren't good with Kyler Murray. They were average with Kyler Murray.
They at least had a puncher's chance. Average isn't necessarily
In that division, they certainly did.
I mean, and the Eagles did not the Eagles get a hold of Riptide Rush in their schedule? I mean, we're going to have that conversation.
Who would beat some of these top teams?
What's that, buddy?
Riptide Rush beat some of those top teams.
Well, yeah, including did he beat Joey Burr? I don't remember.
He did.
Okay. While still he was recovering from the appendectomy, right?
Sure.
Okay, but I mean, he was still out there.
Nobody wants to talk about that. See, this is what I'm getting at. It's not just a fucking number.
I mean, it's overrated conversation at this point now because you're talking about teams that when they beat these teams when they were different,
That's my point.
I mean, never.
Now,
I mean,
if you want to talk about a comment I made a month ago, okay, sure. A month ago, Rusty, we didn't know.
We're talking about it because you keep bringing it up like I've been making the argument. The entire point of all of this was that it all goes back
on me in the message group for no
I
reason.
see more value in a team like the Eagles that even if they had a lighter schedule, beating the teams you're supposed to beat them the way you're supposed to. I see value in that. And they've been doing that all year long.
That's a you problem, buddy.
It's not a you problem. They do the job. You can't have both ways.
If your bar is that low for a team that's number one, you suck at your job. Bottom line.
Okay, but if you're gonna bang the drum for the Chiefs to be higher,
I know whoa. Who said that? Did I say anything about the Chiefs above 3 this week? Last week I was pro them being punished. All of you have conveniently.
So then who's number one?
No! Shut the fuck up, EJ. I want an answer for that. I said it was cool for the Chiefs to be punished, and none of you assholes even acknowledged.
I punished them.
I did because I had them at 5 last week, and I still have them at 5.
This is what's up.
Why did the Eagles be punished though? They lost only 2 games this year.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ! I'm not talking about the Eagles getting punished.
We're talking about the Chiefs, EJ. Keep it on.
Jesus Christ. Matt,
I got you and my wife here fucking bitching right now about this shit.
Make a better argument. He's trying to defend you and he's making you look bad. Jesus.
I mean, for what EJ is saying, and my whole point throughout all of this has been you're consistently trying to punish the Eagles when it seemed like you weren't punishing the Chiefs. Now you are punishing the Chiefs. So I haven't brought it up. The only reason I reply to this is because you keep saying on the shows in the group message, like Matt said, well, according to Matt, and it's not like Matt said, it's not according to Matt.
So that's the only reason he likes to make things up.
According to Matt, that's purely a joke. I'm sorry if that was
fuck it. Put the fucking Niners at number 1. Call it.
Remember, I allegedly said that it was. I allegedly said that all the Cowboy struggles are Dak Prescott's fault, but that's nothing I didn't say.
Hey, listen, buddy. Even EJ and Nat back me. You were pretty tough on Dak on that 5 observations.
I was, but I also went back and listened to it. At no point did I put the blame solely on Dak Prescott.
Oh boy,
which is I absolutely did not do.
So Kyle,
yes, sir.
What will your top 5 be right now this week?
Your top 5 are with whom I have an issue.
So you would have the top 5 that he has?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Okay.
Out of all of it, it's funny. The last 2 weeks, I've had the Niners higher than EJ has.
Yeah.
Which
Jesus
is
Christ.
But again, well, it was because last week I had the Niners at 5 2 weeks ago and the Chiefs at 4. I punished the Chiefs last week, and I wasn't gonna flip flop when they both won.
I'm not gonna lie. I was so considering popping San Francisco to number 3.
I was so close.
I'm sure you were.
You know what I'm holding against San Francisco?
Because you don't want us to yell at you again?
No. KC beat San Francisco already. Their last loss was against Kansas City. Okay. It has to come from something.
How many weeks ago was that, EJ?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it fucking
if
does.
You're making assessments on these things.
College freaking poll. What the shit?
I mean,
Jimmy G was still on the team at that point, right? Starting.
Yeah, that was week 7.
Week 7. That was the last loss. That was the last loss of the season.
That's a correct answer, Matt. If you want to acknowledge that Mr. Irrelevant is the quarterback and that's the reason, cool, say that. Don't tell me about a loss a month ago, buddy.
No, they also had that really tough stretch of Rams, Chargers, Cardinals, Saints, Dolphins, Bucks, Seahawks.
You mean the
Commanders.
now playoff relevant Chargers? Granted, they weren't as healthy then.
I'll say they weren't healthy then. If we want to,
You can always lose context.
You're the one banging the drum for context.
I just agreed with you. That's all. Listen,
So,
I'm not the one who says put the Niners at 3. Get the fuck off of me.
I didn't do it at 5.
You were just
you wanted to.
I considered it. I consider having Bengals at 2 after the first half of that game against New England, and then the second half happened. No.
What? Why?
They were dominating the Patriots the first half of that game, and then.
But who gives a shit? It's the Patriots. They're not even in your top 10. Are they in your top 15?
I don't know. No, probably not.
Right there. That is the only answer. Maybe you got real high pitched.
I mean, after past
real high
Jacksonville, I mean, you have a cluster fucking Detroit and New England and Jets and Tennessee's and stuff. It's not like
God, he has trouble enough making the top 10. Let's not make him.
And I'm not saying this to talk because I don't have the Jags at 10 myself. I don't.
Who's at 10?
Sorry, what?
Who's at 10?
No, hold on. What compels you to put the Jags there? I'm interested.
They're playing very well right now. They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now currently, and I mean, right now I would take them against the teams I was considering putting that spot. I would take the Jags. I would take the Jags over the Giants right now. They play a game. They play again. The Giants did beat them. Granted, they did, but I take the Jags now again. They play again.
That was a really close end to that game.
Exactly. That's my point.
So that's well, no, that wasn't your point. I made that point for you. You hadn't gotten.
No, but you cut me off. That's why. I think the Jags over Detroit right now.
That was awesome. Even though the Lions destroyed the Jags.
The Jags were a bad matchup for the Lions, and let me tell you why. Like that, the Jags secondary is their weakness, and Man Campbell exploited that ish, because he has the personnel to do it. I don't know that that's representative of the Jaguars. That was what week?
That was what week? What week 5? Week 6?
No, that was
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
I remember that game. I don't know why.
The Jags have beaten the Jets, Cowboys, Titans 3 weeks in a row, and then it was the blowout to the Lions.
Like
that's the hottest team.
Oh yeah. Remember that game now? Yes, that was the
beating
game
those juggernauts and the Titans and the Jets.
Those Jaguar knots, right? Let's set up Jim for his next lame ass freaking pun.
Goodness sake.
Hey, listen, Champa Bay bitch. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
I did that for you. I'm not a pun master. I just did that because I knew it would get a rise out of you.
Oh, is that it? So you wanted it? You wanted to trigger me? Is that payback for all the Cowboys and the Dak jokes? Is that it?
Hey, look, man, I get triggered when people put words in my mouth that I didn't say. That's all.
What happened?
If you think you're gonna trigger me by making fun of the Cowboys, motherfucker, I make fun of them every damn week.
Oh no!
At Big Jim Sports on Twitter.
Yeah, you can see it in writing every time they play.
Well, no, it's me making fun of you and blaming it all on Dak Prescott that triggers you,
which I didn't do. You can listen to that on the 5 observations.
There he goes. I win.
That we didn't get this week.
We didn't get this week because I don't know. It was fucking Christmas, EJ. So there you go.
I know. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you for it.
Look, you took a week off. You took a month off of Take 3, so I don't want to hear it about taking 1 week off my side podcast.
Hey, wait.
Anyway,
wait, but Jim, how long did we have to wait on the And One podcast? Bing!
I've been going the last 2 weeks.
How long?
All right. Anything else in relation to EJ's power?
I think we're getting all the dunks in now because this is the last show of the year. So we're getting all this 2022 shit into
it's all
over a 2-hour episode now.
EJ, real talk. What better way to promote a basketball show than dunks? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, why it makes sense? Like that makes
got
sense.
a point.
Yeah.
I love you guys so damn much. I really do.
We look to our closing segment.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
One guarantee for the upcoming weekend or the upcoming week in sports. EJ, what is going to happen this week?
They clinched first playoff spot since 2016. This weekend. That's my lock. Right there.
Oh my God!
Oh, I hit the wrong one.
I asked the question. Yes, you asked the question. I'm answering the question. They lock up the playoff spot.
Wrong button. That's on me.
Okay. This is a mistake I made, so I apologize in advance. I listened to last week's episode going into this one tonight, basically, And I heard EJ, oh, the Giants, they are going to do. They're so bad. Oh, but Brian Daboll's still coach of the year. But the Giants are so bad. So bad. And now you come up with this. Buddy, what am I supposed to think?
Well, Kyle, this is the situation. They win one of their next 2 games. They're in the playoffs. That's the scenario.
But you're locking it for this week specifically.
Yes. It's the Colts.
That's probably fair.
Way to get out on the goddamn branch.
Is Nick Foles playing this week? Do we know?
Who?
Has that been announced if Foles is starting for Indy again?
They probably changed their minds. 5th time.
They're just like gonna go down to like a 7-Eleven and be like,
bring back Jeff George.
What are you doing on Sunday?
Bring back Jeff George.
Oh dear God.
All right.
Jim
Harbaugh.
He's
coaching.
He's busy this weekend.
Yes, my bad.
All right, Matt. What is your guarantee for this upcoming week?
It will be confirmed by the end of the week that Sam Hartman will be Notre Dame's quarterback for the 2023 season.
Lock it up.
I like that. Kyle, what is going to happen this week?
I mean, considering the quarterback room in Notre Dame now, I think EJ actually made the bolder pick. Listen, I
didn't say he'd be starting.
That's fair. That's you know what, Matt? That's a great point by you.
But he will be.
Golly jeepers. Oh boy. I'm made entirely too weak and tired by the whole debacle that was the show, and I love every minute of it. Gosh. You know what? To smooth the ice with all my Irish fans on this panel, I am going to lock up Pete Carroll's playoff hopes ending this week.
Lock it up.
I love that. I mentioned earlier when talking about the Rose Bowl prediction that would have more on this later. Penn State's loss to Utah in the Rose Bowl will bring James Franklin's record versus top 10 teams to 2-21.
Lock it up.
You would find a way to promote your goddamn Utes, right?
You're damn right. My Pac-12 champion, Utah Utes, Kyle.
You just made college football weaker. That's all you did. Sweet dreams, son.
Hey, look, they didn't make the playoff. That's the one I missed on, all right? And Mike has Kansas State winning outright, like he said earlier, against Alabama. That is his lock.
Lock it up.
So that is bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
If it does, I'll give him all the credit in the world. But damn,
yeah. I'm not. I usually am with you on a lot of things, Mike. That ain't one of them. But that is where we leave this week for the Huddle Up Pod. Yeah, what a journey this show was. My goodness.
Happy New Year, bitches.
Matt, go ahead and plug anything you need to plug.
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Teaching to the Choir across all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd. If you watch a lot of films, I'm on there. I don't know if it's that on Goodreads, but I know EJ doesn't read books unless the crayons are included.
That's a lie. I'm actually That's
the point of the joke, EJ.
Let the joke happen, EJ.
Goodness.
Let fetch happen too.
Shut it.
Too late. That's already done.
Your kid told you earlier. Shut it.
You can listen to me on Thursdays and Tuesdays on the 3CT podcast, where we talk all things wrestling. Not this week. I'm off this Thursday. I'm taking a page out of EJ's book and not going on a wrestling podcast on a Thursday night. So you can catch me there next week in the new year. You can hear me maybe once next year on the Earnestly Speaking podcast, but we're pushing it at this point. It might be down to 0. Have a great new year, guys. Love you all. Thanks for following along. It's been a great 2022.
EJ, give him
all right. So Earthspeaker Podcast, all podcast catchers. I'm doing my last episode of the year. I think dropping out on either tomorrow or Thursday. I haven't decided yet. Earthspeaker Unfiltered as well too. I dust that off finally. I'm doing daily pods on there, daily sports talk on there. It's been pretty fun actually. Came back to doing that again. Take the wrestling, of course. Not this week. We're off. We're all off, actually. Me, Jim, everybody.
Yeah, it's more because I'm taking the week off. I am taking a full Thursday
I am
off.
also, too, because I have
that's not news. The
family-
news is I'm taking
No,
the week
I actually
off.
have a
It would be news if you were going to be on the show.
Right.
EJ.
No, I have a family function to go to on Thursday night, so obviously
That's fine.
yeah.
You've been away for most weeks for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Don't forget to listen to EJ's basketball podcast, Bringing the Heat with Ernest Christian. Oh, no.
And one, we'll be dropping that tomorrow night, hopefully. Jim, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll record that tomorrow night, of course. Other than that, guys, it's been a fantastic year. Happy 2022 is over. 2023 is coming up very soon. Next year, playoff time and all that jazz. Maybe another movie draft. I asked to pick the movies for once. So what the fuck?
That popped me, Matt.
I can't believe my son fucking said Dallas Cowboys rule. What a fucking
that was
turd.
awesome. That was all the music I needed. Kyle, go ahead.
Why would you spoil your pod like that, buddy? No, listen.
Makes comedy, man.
No. Well, no, you are good at comedy. I've seen your top 10 week in and week out. Anyways, yes, I know I agreed with the top half. It's a joke, EJ. Relax. God, honor, joy, and privilege, ladies and gentlemen. While EJ gripes about having to go to a family function on Thursday.
I'm not griping. I'm excited about it.
Good.
He actually had an excuse to not do his podcast this week.
Yeah, it's a party. It's a party. It's a party we're having.
Here's the thing. My podcast will still happen on Wednesday, even though I will be covering the Military Bowl from afar and appearing on the post-game show Night Shifts with the Black and Gold Banneret, and I'll be doing so from Edition Financial Arena to cover UCF men's hoops. But you will still see the Student of the Game pod take place during the game in question because I know about pre-record technology. Anyways, then also on Thursday, I don't have a family function, but I do have the displeasure of covering EJ's alleged FSU Seminoles, even though he's a fan of The Rock who went to Miami. Figure that out.
Go Heat, bitch.
Go Heat, bitch. As they battle the Oklahoma Sooners. That'll all be very interesting. I've never seen a 9-win team host a 6-win team before, but let's just say, well, I'm going to pull a Joel Klatt and not pick it since I'm covering it. I have a pretty good idea who might win that game, and if they don't, EJ will be having to answer for it. I'll put it that way. And then, of course, that'll be for the 3pointconversion.com. And, of course, check out my continued work covering the Jacksonville Jaguars with A7BN Sports and Captain Chris Hill at oldschool101.com and A7BN Sports. So that should be fun as well. And, yeah, Black and Gold Banneret, I mentioned them earlier. Honor, joy, and privilege, guys. Let us all be among the first to wish all of you a Happy New Year. And, great, now I'm tired from trying to stave off EJ and his bad arguments.
It is exhausting. I will point out, Mike, that I was given the HR approval, and then Ernest goes, "Should we all take the week off?" That is actually how it went down. But that's that. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, this year's been a blast. If you followed along with the Huddle Up Podcast brand, this show. And the brand as a whole has grown more than I ever expected it to here in 2022. So I'm super excited about what the future can bring. I think, again, the guys on this panel each and every week, we obviously love to rip each other, but at the end of the day, it's all in jest, except for EJ, your picks suck. But
hey, listen, I love EJ Christian because he has 2 mugs.
That is true. That is most certainly true. But yeah, Huddle Up Podcast Incorporated. Thank you, Mike, for so aptly naming it on the 5 for Fighting, which will be coming out later this week as well.
So since it's incorporated, does that make EJ a corporate tool?
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yes, that's 100% accurate. Look, thank you, everyone, for joining in and tuning in and supporting the show. We certainly do appreciate that. Continue to spread the word of the show in the feed to anyone that you think might enjoy it. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and YouTube at Huddle Up Podcast. Get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. Subscribe on all podcast platforms. And if you can find somewhere where you can't find the show, just reach out. Let us know. We'll make sure it gets there as well. I hope you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day as we kick off 2023. We will be back here next Tuesday night live. I'll try and get some observations this week because I missed out this past, and the rest of the shows hitting the feed throughout the week. Until then, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the win.